Hello everyone, you know what day it is, welcome to the stream. It's Choppin Tuesday, the day we chop wood here on the Pixel Rift stream. How is everyone doing? Hope you're all very well, hope your week is treating you good, hope you're not skipping class to watch this stream. Seriously, go to school kids, do some learning, do that good book learning. Minecraft will still be there when you get home. What's up? How is everyone? How is everyone? Not skipping class, just study hall. Wasn't talking to you, Steve Weasel. Some other people in the chat were like, I'm gonna skip class. I'm like, no, you're not. Not on my watch. Paranormal can't stay today. No worries, man. Hope the doctor's appointment goes all well. Thank you for the well wishes. Stop saying you're skipping class. I feel bad. I'm distracting the youth from their education. Yes, we have the space mug, I got myself some space tea, and we are ready to chop some spruce wood, because if you've seen the latest episodes of the survival guide, you will know that I am all out of that. I've been building a boat, and it's going well, but I need some more wood, so... Anyone playing with the old-style programmer art textures with 1.14, it balked all the text in the game Not English, though, kind of disappointing. Interesting. I've not tried switching back to the programmer art textures since 1.14 came out. I think I mentioned it briefly once, but I never actually did. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not certain. Chop the trees to build the boat. Yes, we will do that. We will do that. Just getting ready to make your first cup of coffee. Whatever. Are we going to get a first-time coffee in the stream right now? Can you imagine? First-time coffee reaction happens live. No. Glad you're having yourself a cup of coffee. Getting that morning coffee going. Assuming it is morning where you are. Some folks drink coffee in the evening. I can't do that. But I barely drink coffee in the day because it gets me jittery. I'm a tea man. You guys know that. So here we are. Make the boat functional too. I mean, it can't move. It's a boat in Minecraft. Like, this ain't Archimedes ships mod, buddy. This is good old functional vanilla Minecraft where boats don't exactly do very much. But the boat has function. The boat has a kelp farm in it that is currently smelting up that kelp thanks to a new smoker array that I built. I actually expanded it for tomorrow's episode, so you might get a couple of spoilers for that. But yeah, it's looking great so far. I like it a lot, and it's producing lots of lovely kelp blocks for us. So scaffolding box, I might actually keep that on us. Jeshni with the tier 1 sub, the Patreon and Twitch sub double. Thank you so much for subscribing. Enjoy your emotes. Welcome to the Pixels. You are 1 in a million. You converted, according to the chat, from a Twitch Prime sub to a straight up tier 1 sub. Thank you for making the investment. Very kind of you. Speaking of Twitch Prime, Ed Noria with 3 months of support through Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. You guys getting the stream off to a fantastic start, of course. Of course, welcome. Welcome, everybody. The hype. Why didn't I build the Wither Skeleton farm from Logical Geek Boy? Well, there's a couple of reasons. For a start, farming Wither Roses is difficult. Secondly, I have not gotten as far as building any kind of Wither Skeleton farm yet. And thirdly, I have a Wither Skeleton farm already. I mean, I said I haven't got around to building any particular, like, automated skeleton farm yet. But I kind of want to wait a little while before I do any kind of technical projects related to 1.14.1 in case some stuff changes, and also because I don't want to steal Logical Geek Boy's thunder. That farm design is pretty new, and he deserves all the views he can get. Hey, that's the guy. Today we are chopping the good old-fashioned spruce wood, because I've been building this. This is going to be the boat that I've mentioned a couple of times in the past that I wanted to build around the outside of my kelp farm here in Old Town, in the swamp. And originally this was going to be a shipwreck, but given the kind of Asian-inspired, like the classical, not even classical, I guess, I don't know, the Chinese and Japanese-inspired architecture, the bamboo, the way the architecture of Old Town is working out, I actually kind of want to make this into a boat that they've not necessarily wrecked here, they've just moved it. And it's going to be modeled after a Chinese junk. They're really cool looking boats. They have really different looking sails, and I really want to do some cool stuff with this boat. So I got a couple of reference images on Google. I've been working from those. I modeled the start of the kind of the hull of this so far after a reference image I found on Google, and the back isn't done at all yet because I ran out of spruce wood. Did I end up looking at Thai and Vietnamese-style houses? I have not yet. Oh, stilt houses, sorry. No, I haven't yet, but I probably will at some point as we expand this area. But yeah, as the back goes, it's really not very much right now. There's a massive gaping hole in it. The kelp farm obviously still works. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I have myself a nice little kelp farm going on in here, which is now smoking all of the kelp double fast. And, yeah, it's producing quite a lot, which is really nice. Right now, these are still draining. I might actually flip some of these around so that there's a little bit more kelp in each of these hoppers. Like so. And, yeah, so that can be burning through the backlog as well. I think it's loading in kelp faster than these smokers can smoke it, which is good. But, yeah, these got a little full before, so I'm trying to even stuff out a little here. But yeah, let's do some chopping. Let's chop some spruce wood, because I need to build the rest of this boat. This boat is... I don't want to smelt the saplings. This boat is calling to me in a big way. I'm really looking forward to designing more of this. And I've done the thing that people said that I should have done with my cruise ship a while ago, which is you build this thing underwater that's supposed to do something in terms of hydrodynamics. It's got like a secondary like, little lump at the bottom there that's supposed to break the water a little better, apparently. I don't know. I don't know quite how shipbuilding works, so I am all at sea, quite literally, I suppose. How is everyone in the chat doing? Let's make a movie about the story of my survival world. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it could make, at most, a fantasy novella. I don't know if it would really be a movie that anyone would go and watch. But I'm glad you think it's cinematic enough. Remember to chop sand. I can probably chop sand another time. I'm really into to getting some... Oh, I've got some sand in there as well. Look, see, I can just borrow this sand if I need sand. I'm really into getting spruce today. Because, yeah, this boat needs finishing. It's called a wave breaker. Ah, there you go. Good to know. Good to know we have some knowledgeable folks in the chat. Kuro, as always. Watching this at the moment, you're on episode 3. Well, spoilers. There's a lot of stuff here. It's 130-something episodes of stuff here. In fact, I recorded episode 140 today, I guess. We have a chorus fruit farm over there now, for future reference. The boat does need to be spruced up. It is true. It is true. So yeah, we still have some sand left, whereas as far as spruce wood goes, we have nothing. We have 21 spruce logs. So definitely need to get that taken care of. Also, I need to get more bones. So I will get the bone meal. Will I complete the nether hub? No, I'm just going to leave it like that to spite you. Of course I'm going to complete the nether hub. Am I going to do it soon? Absolutely not. I have far too many other better things to do right now. Didn't get the notification, but here you are nonetheless. Somehow, within 13 minutes of the stream starting. You must be incredibly vigilant. There we go. Plenty of bones in here. Good. Good, we will get those. What else would you do with the random trivia you have stored? Start an almanac. Sephora with 150 bits. You've remembered how to cheer. Good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for the 150 bits. I'm glad that you remembered how to cheer just in time for one of my streams. I appreciate the bits. Thank you. You also didn't get the notification. Ah, fair enough. Sometimes Twitch be twitchy. So let's chop some wood. Let's chop some wood and have a lovely time. And I think I've got my particles set to minimal as well. There we go. I was wondering why I didn't see any of them green sparkles. Found the channel a couple of days ago, loving the survival guide. You're on episode 66. Oh no, the one where we killed all the Jedi. Glad you're enjoying it so far. One of these days you'll catch up. Right. Talismancer with the 18 months. It's occurred to you that you've been subscribed longer than you've been married. Wow. Not sure what to say to that. I don't think you should substitute one for the other. People say they're married to the job. People are also married to their Twitch subscriptions. Am I going to use scaffolding to help with chopping? I might at some point, but, I mean, spruce wood kind of farms itself like this. You just kind of go up in a spiral. It's not super necessary to get the chopping. 80s forever. Hello, I have some bad news for you. The 80s ended about 40 years ago. No, that's not true. 30 years ago. My maths was off. I'm not 42 this month, so the 80s probably didn't end quite as early as that, or as late as that. I have no concept of time anymore, apparently. Why is it so difficult to get efficiency 4 enchantment on an axe? It's not. At least not if you put it in an enchantment table. But, yeah, sometimes it's weird that you just get weird sort of dark periods where you can't get specific enchantments. Like, remember how long it took me to get blast protection on the last stream? It's always the 80s somewhere because of time zones. I'm pretty sure that is how time zones work, yes. The bug in 114, you can't get high-level enchants with the enchanting table anymore. Really? Interesting. I have not tried that. Then again, I did a lot of enchanting the other day, and I got a lot of enchants on books, so maybe give books a try. One thing I've noticed about 114 so far is it tries to give me a lot of the piercing enchantment. Like, all of the crossbow enchantments have a weight in the enchantment table that is making them show up a little sooner. yeah, still a lot of bugs to be worked out in 1.14, but 1.14.1 at least has fixed the chunk rendering, which means it is somewhat bearable to fly around my world again. This must be a Franken tree. It is. It is a Franken tree. It is several trees merged into one. Haste mining doesn't work on wood, unfortunately. Haste 2 beacon mining only really works on stone. Or at least I think stone and... Is terracotta? Terracotta, I think, is the other one that requires haste in order to strip mine, like to speed mine it. But very few other materials are affected by haste beacons, unfortunately. How many logs am I going to get? All of them. Like, I'll give you a clue. For a start, like, I need to fill my inventory at least twice to fill up a double chest, and I need more than that. Because then I'm going to use them all on building a boat again. Welcome to Choppin Tuesday. This is the stream. This is what we do. I might also farm some chorus fruit later. I have some fun ideas for chorus fruit farming. But, yeah, I did some of that for tomorrow's video. And I want to see if we can trick some skeletons into farming chorus flowers for us. Which is going to be fun, because if you didn't know, you can shoot down chorus flowers with projectiles now, which means crossbows, bows, tridents, anything like that. Do I stream for resources too? That's the idea. That's entirely what this day is. Didn't know 2x2s could grow next to each other. They can. If you grow trees next to each other, it doesn't get in the way of growing extra trees, because they don't count the leaves as like a solid block that would prevent them from growing. When's Villager Week 2 coming? Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm sick of those guys. I know that 1.14.1 has fixed a lot of the pathfinding issues I was having with it, which is a very good thing. I went over to the village just to check that my trades were still the same, because some people had said that their like 1 emerald trades that they had were no longer coming up, and I think they might have meant like 1 emerald as like the lowest possible starting price without discounts. But I have heavy discounts because I cured zombie villagers, and so even if the trade prices have adjusted, I can still get mending for 3 emeralds, which is great. But while I was over there, I noticed that the lighting glitch has happened, and a bunch of the light sources I have placed in that village area are not registering as light sources in terms of putting out block light. I don't know if they are rendering the light or not, but spiders and skeletons were spawning there, even when the whole place is incredibly meticulously well lit. So I am probably going to wait to return to the village until that bug gets resolved, which is probably going to be 1.14.2. I have so much other stuff I want to do in the meantime that I feel like it's fine for me to take a break from villagers for the time being. And we can work on some other stuff in the meantime. As long as iron farms still work in this update, I might actually get my iron farm built. There's a bunch of other stuff that we will do. Will I ever do any Q&A? That's what this Twitch stream is. Darkleys has been asking me questions for basically the entire time I've been streaming. You mean Q&A in videos? Q&A in videos happens occasionally, but as for the survival guide thing, I did like my 101 questions episode for episode 101. I might do another one when we get to 202. And I think that stuff is fine for like a regular Let's Play, but since mine is a tutorial Let's Play, if the questions are all about me, then I don't really see the point, because I'm not making tutorials for myself, you know? It's not like how to live as Pixelriffs. I'm making tutorials for Minecraft. And so if it was a Q&A all about like Minecraft questions, then sure, but then I've already done videos like that fairly recently, so. My favorite dessert is probably tiramisu, at least right now. Love me some tiramisu. It's got booze, it's got coffee, it's got chocolate. It's got that creamy cheese stuff. Yeah, tiramisu is the best. Correct order for water, teabag, and milk. Teabag first, water afterwards, take teabag out, put milk in. In before, trick question. You don't take milk at all. But yeah, if I put the milk in before I've taken the tea bag out, it feels gross, and I don't know why. I think it may be because, like, when milk just gets, like, spilled or something somewhere, I mean, the whole no use crying over spilt milk thing is a phrase, but also the smell of milk when it's just been kind of left out is kind of awful. And so having a tea bag that just, like, you know, I put all my tea bags in the compost. Having the compost smell of, like, old milk is the worst thing in the world to me. That makes me want to throw up. That creamy cheese stuff also known as cream cheese. No, it's like mascarpone, isn't it? The stuff that goes in tiramisu? Or is it ricotta? I forget. It's one of the creamy ones, but it's not just like Philadelphia cream cheese. Water, take out the water, teabag water. Just kind of go over it. I know there's whoa, okay. Grow a Christmas tree. I know there's some, like, is in the Japanese tea ceremony, don't they, like, pour hot water over the teapot first to, like, warm the material of the teapot and make sure that the tea stays, like, a nice temperature? I think that's how it happens in, like, the kind of traditional formal tea ceremonies. Yeah, old milk smell. Ugh. Oh, hey, Joel's here. Hey, Joel. Can you fix that 114 lighting glitch by replacing the blocks? I have tried it, and it seems to work, but the amount of light sources that you'd have in the average base, I would much rather it get fixed by, you know, an actual bug fix. But yeah, no, I feel you there. Like, it's gonna be easy enough, I think, to replace light sources in some cases. It's just irritating to have to do it over and over again, I think. That would be another entire stream, like a Choppin Tuesday where we just take out all of the torches and replace them with torches again. True Purple with the 3 months. Thank you so much for the 3 months of support. Sub-hype in the chat. When you drink tea, usually warm the mug before adding the tea water. Yeah, that's the legit way of doing it, I think. That's how we should all do it, but then we don't always have the time. I interrupted you watching my video. I'm sorry, I'll be quiet. That's a lie. Shouldn't lie to the people. Never quiet. Hoping 114.1 fixed it. Unfortunately, it did not. If anything, it got worse for me. I hadn't really noticed it happening before the 14.1 update, and it seems to have gotten worse. The folks on my Patreon server said it got worse as well. So hopefully they rush out a 114.2 in a similarly speedy way to how they got 114 out, or 114.1, by which I mean it'll take them a couple of weeks. But yeah, hopefully they'll be able to get on that. Optimizing the chunks with that new, like, clear your lighting and height map data cache thing also doesn't seem to do anything, so who knows. From what I understand, for servers, there's a temporary fix that you can run from the server console, which involves, like, clearing some old data, but that's a temporary thing, and it seems to happen again afterwards. That's alright. If anybody can hear that in the background, Mrs. Riffs is printing things. But you probably can't hear it all that well. 114 has been a rough start. It has. Unfortunately, it has. But the content is great, so hopefully that's what people remember. It'll stand the test of time, I expect. The tea-containing rift is always warm and cold. I know, like, for a singularity, you feel like this would be warmer. Is this the strongest tree in the forest? Yes, and my axe is a herring. Good reference. Have I ever played Starbound? I have. I played it for a few episodes back on my YouTube channel, and people didn't really watch it. And I played Terraria before, so I kind of expected it to be more like Terraria than it was. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it just didn't really gel with me. Can you be an admin of this chat? Absolutely not. Generally speaking, I only give admin privileges to people that I know and trust. Which is not to say I don't trust you, but it's more complicated than that. Am I going to play Hightail? I don't know if I'm going to play Hightail or not. And it's funny, people asking me to make a survival guide for Hightail. The only reason I can make a survival guide for Minecraft is because I've been playing this game for like 5 years. I could make a Let's Play of Hightail, but then everyone else is going to do that as well, so I don't know why mine would be particularly different. And also, I don't know that Hightail is necessarily going to have the complexity of Minecraft and is going to merit needing something like a survival guide. Like, I don't know what there is to tutorialize in that game yet, so I can't say for certain if I will or the other. Mochaccino with the 20 bits. Thank you for the 20 Pog champs and saying I'm the best. I appreciate it. Starbound is so great. I mean, sure, yeah, I expect it's a decent game. I just didn't get much beyond the first few missions. That felt like another game where I appreciate them kind of throwing you in with, like, at the deep end with very little knowledge of the game, kind of in the same way Terraria does, but I found it difficult getting off the ground with it and getting past, like, the very basic stuff. Have I ever moshed / been to a hardcore show? Yeah, in my youth, I went to many a hardcore show. Yeah, when I was like 18, 19, I was into like the hardcore punk metal scene pretty heavily. Not so much anymore. These days my musical taste is a little bit more diverse and a little bit less angsty. But yeah, I've been. There's definitely a couple of bands I wish I could have got out to see, but yeah, probably wouldn't go and see now because I want to preserve my ears. Used to play Terraria a lot, so the norm was to shun Minecraft. But since your friend and I started playing and watching you made me love Minecraft. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason these games can't coexist. I feel like that's the problem with everyone's attitude towards Fortnite and how Fortnite is supposed to kill Minecraft, or, you know, it's not going to kill Minecraft. And, like, they're just two different games. They can coexist in the same space. People getting mad for no reason. Hey, Elkhorn. Welcome along. Good to see you. How old am I? I'm going to be 32 on Friday. Minecraft is clearly not dead. No, emphatically no. Decidedly no. My wife got that reference. If any of the rest of you did, then congrats. Have I played Elder Scrolls Oblivion? I've never played a single Elder Scrolls game, even Skyrim, which is funny because Skyrim is available on, like, every platform. Don't know what happened just then. It was a gorilla attack. Not a gorilla. I didn't just call my wife a gorilla. It's gorilla with a U, not an O. Grr.
Huge difference.
I'm glad she got that. Find yourself a wife who will take, like, accidental insults in good humor. I say a wife. Find yourself a partner. Find yourself whatever kind of partner makes you happy. We're going to have a birthday stream? I don't know, because I might find other stuff to do on Friday. Skyrim is available for the printer. It is. My printer Fusro dying out paper. I still know all about Skyrim even if I've never played it. That's the thing. Skyrim is one of those games that's just permeated the public consciousness. Especially the song from the trailer. So that I feel like I've played it even though I haven't played it. Oh, that's just hydrated. I thought for whatever reason that the pods all had grown over the wheat blocks, but they were still planted. That would have been pretty cool, actually. Do I play without audio? No, I play with audio. I've got speakers on. It's just my microphone is cardioid, so it doesn't really pick up any of the sound that's happening behind here. Or it picks up a very minimal amount of that, so with the volume turned down fairly low on my speakers, I'm able to just play without worrying about bleed too much. That's the technical audio term for it, by the way. If you want an audio lesson today, bleed. But yeah, I'm not certain what we're going to do on Friday, if I am going to have like a birthday stream kind of thing, because there's also a bunch of Minecraft announcements happening that I kind of want to be there when they happen. Although I don't think it's going to be a live stream for them, so I don't know for certain when any of that stuff's going to happen, and if I really need to tune in at the very second that all of the stuff is going down. But Friday is normally my day off, for those who are curious about my routine. Friday is normally the day when I'm done with my video making for the week, because Friday is like the last day that Survival Guides episodes go out for that week, so I've already finished that one on Thursday. If I do any work on Fridays, it's usually just watching the videos I need to watch for the Hermitcraft recap. So chances are on Friday I might just be relaxing and enjoying being 32. But aside from going out for a meal in the evening, I don't really have any plans, so we will see. Does making trees like this create podzol? Yeah, on Java Edition at least, 2x2 spruce trees generate an area of podzol around them. They don't do that on Bedrock, though. Did I finish the Guardian Farm glass border? I did not. I have a bunch of glass left over there, though. But today is Choppin Tuesday. And I'm quite keen to get the rest of this boat done at some point. I look about 26 or 27. There really isn't a great deal of physical difference between how somebody looks aged like 25 and how someone looks aged like 35. Like you start to maybe round out a little bit depending on how much exercise you take on a regular basis, like fitness levels and stuff like that. But yeah, in terms of facial features, I probably don't look all that different to how I did when I was 25, 26. Like, stylistically, I might look a little bit different in the way I dress and the way I do my hair and stuff, but not a whole lot has changed physically since then. Is the console version considered Bedrock? Depends which console. It's the sticking up hair. Yeah, the hair is doing weird stuff today. I'm just going to ignore it and let it do its thing. Notice people spam in the comments of my videos about joining Hermitcraft. What's that all about? That's about people only thinking there is one Minecraft server out there and that joining it is the logical conclusion of every YouTube Minecrafter's career. Or it's just people being really supportive and thinking that I deserve to be up there among the greats, because a lot of the folks on Hermitcraft are full-time Minecrafters who are very well regarded for playing the game. And while it's flattering, I don't know if I agree. Which Xbox, though, Joe? Because there's Xbox 360, which is not Bedrock, and there's Xbox One, which is. And yes, the PS4 is different to all the other console versions because PS4 doesn't allow cross-play with other consoles, so... Or at least it doesn't for Minecraft. I know it does with some games like Fortnite and, I think, Rocket League. But, yeah, the PS4 version of Minecraft is separate. And I think it's probably still programmed in a similar way to the other console versions. But it hasn't received a bunch of stuff in the latest update. Like, it hasn't got the Bedrock 1.11 update equivalent on PS4 yet. About original Xbox, the one that the first one that came out. Were you there playing Halo? Snug Dad, cheers from family holiday in Devon. Hello. Don't spend too much of your holiday watching my streams. Get out there and see Devon. It's a lovely day, or at least it is for me here in Sussex. But I don't know if Devon is seeing the same weather. Do I play Minecraft Bedrock? Not usually. I have a couple of series that I've done in Minecraft Bedrock on my channel, but they are usually short-lived things because while the Windows 10 version of the game is accessible to me, I don't enjoy it as much as Java Edition. Can't you craft notch apples on PS4? You can, yeah, because I believe the world size is still limited. The effectively infinite worlds that you have on the Bedrock Edition for other consoles, I don't think they ever made it to PS4. Does signs still block water in 114.1? They can do. If you place a sign in a water block, it will automatically become waterlogged, which will mean it can't block water because it doesn't like erase the water block that's already there. But if you place a sign and then place the water afterwards, the sign will block water. To my knowledge, at least. Also, you can now make signs out of all of the different colors of wood now. Was watching a streamer do hardcore dragon runs. He found an enchanted apple in the dungeon. Nice. I bet that helped with the dragon. If you need to use it at that point. Also, when did we strip a spruce log? That was a mistake. Strip spruce is the worst. What version is Minecraft Xbox 360? That is console version. Which is different from Bedrock Edition. I know, keep up. It's a little bit complicated when it comes to the other versions, but yeah, the legacy console version of Minecraft is the one that's on like Wii U and Xbox 360 and PS3. And that version recently, I believe, stopped receiving updates. See you later, Sadie Cats. Thanks for stopping by today's stream. Big thanks for the villager week. You're now raising your third village. Nice. Yeah, we will return to that village at some point, like I said, but probably not anytime soon. I've got other business to attend to, other farms to make. The Vixen with 500 bits. Thank you so much for the bits. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Legacy got 113. Was 113, I mean, the update aquatic? Because, I mean, 113 is only a version number that makes sense if you're on Java. Ooh. Auto crouch, because a tree grew. Nice. Let's squirrel our way into here, then. Yeah, so Legacy Console Edition got the update aquatic, and then that was the last update they're getting, right? I believe that's the case. What's better, looting or fortune for leaves and crops? Fortune is the only one that works on leaves and crops. Looting has no effect. The Iron Golem Plague in 14.1 is real. The Iron Golem Plague is both a blessing and a curse, I will agree. Can I show my Minecraft stats? I mean, I guess. What do you want to see in particular? Because just like opening the stats screen and having you guys stare at it is probably not great content. So if you want to see something specific, let me know. At the last count, I had played over 600 hours in this world, if that's what you're interested in. See you later, Musician Prime. Have a good day. Don't work too hard. Less inflammable or less flammable, depending on which definition you use. Could I make a vault accessible by the one block height trapdoor trick? Yes. Am I going to do it now? No. I've got wood to chop. How many times must I explain Choppin Tuesday before you'll take it seriously? Iron Golem Plague or Plaque? I haven't looked at their teeth lately. I wish there was some kind of haste potion that you could brew up that was faster than haste 2 so I could actually chop wood at speed. The only way you can do it is with commands, and yeah, it's not how I play. Iron Golem Plaque would surely just be rust. I mean, it might be. What am I collecting the wood for? For a start, because I don't have any left. I ran out of spruce wood, more or less. I have like 21 logs left or something. Survival guide, not a cheat guide, exactly. But the main reason is because I want to continue building that. I'm building a boat over there. You must build a boat. And I'm building it out of spruce wood and using logs rather than planks because I feel like logs look like they have a better sort of direction than planks do. They look nicer. But unfortunately that means it uses up a lot of wood. That boat alone, like the hull that I've built so far, which isn't even a full hull, like it stops about there behind that tree, that used up nearly a full double chest of spruce wood, if you can believe that. Am I the Ken Ham of Minecraft? Isn't he the guy? Isn't he the chef? The guy with the hot wok? That's Ken Hom, isn't it? I don't know who you're talking about. Hey, Lady Isabetta, good morning to you. Speaking of hot woks, by the way, if anybody wants something really good to watch and has Netflix, check out that street food show. We finished watching that the other day, and it's such a great show. If you're interested in cooking and culture and people's stories from around the world, they've just gone to, like, Asian countries so far, and I think they're probably going to do future seasons in different regions of the world. But there's some really fascinating stories. The guy in the Japan episode who runs like he runs a street food stall where he cooks using a blowtorch, and he just dips his hand in ice water, and he basically has his hand underneath this blowtorch moving the food around. Looks crazy. Does this thick tree method work for every type of wood? Unfortunately, no. Jungle wood and spruce wood are the only ones with 2x2 variants. But you can grow all of the other trees next to each other and it still kind of has vaguely the same effect. It just takes a lot more bone meal. Hey, Rob! It says morning, it's 3:45. Unless you're on a shoot somewhere. Then again, why would you be tuning in on Twitch if you were just like shooting in Italy again or something? How are the movies these days, buddy? It's morning somewhere. This is true. Must have asbestos hands like your mum did. It's a parent thing, isn't it? Like, just having desensitized hands, apparently. Like, my dad can eat soup while it's like fresh out of the pot and it's still steaming, and I would burn my mouth several times over before I even tasted anything. What's the name of the show? It's called Street Food. You'll find it on Netflix. First stream you've actually made it to, a little old cat lad. Welcome along. Survival Guide is the reason you got into Minecraft. Awesome. Glad to hear it. It's so cool that I can be that for people, because I have, like, several people I would love to meet in the fullness of time whose videos got me into Minecraft in the first place. So that's very cool to hear. Hope you stick with it for a while, because it ain't stopping anytime soon. One guy in India dips his hand in boiling oil while cooking. Yeah, people like that are mad geniuses a lot of the time. He's blind, interviewing another blind chef who's making creme brulee the interesting way with a blowtorch. Lots of complaints that Radio 4 would broadcast two blind people cooking with a blowtorch. Dude, I used to go past, you know, you might know this because you're local, the blind veterans, like, care center, I guess? I'm not sure, like, it's just called Blind Veterans UK, that's, like, on the cliffs on the way Is it before or after Rottingdean? I forget. I think it's at Ovingdean, like near the roundabout. And you always used to see them practicing archery outside. And obviously, like, blind doesn't mean, like, totally blind. There are definitely levels of blindness. And modern bows are really great at, like, beeping when you're facing the target properly. And you've got, like, a decent bead on the target, right? But I definitely fell into that trap of, like, tweeting some dumb joke about how it was weird that the Blind Veterans UK place had, like, an archery team. And they tweeted back at me and were like, they're actually quite good. They've won, like, awards and medals and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And, like, since then, I've had a newfound respect for them because they've clearly, for a start, they've got a very on-it social media team that is very kind to people who make cruel jokes at their expense. But also, like, they've clearly done very well with it. Used to be Dunstan. Yeah, St. Dunstan's was what it used to be called. I have a lot of different favorite kinds of music, Toby. I have quite an eclectic taste in music. Like, lately I've got more into electronic stuff, but I've always had kind of a range of tastes. Like I was saying earlier in the stream that I used to be more into, like, heavy metal and hardcore and punk and that kind of stuff, but I have mellowed with age, I think. So these days I'm into more of like a variety of things. What does my wife think about the survival guide? I mean, she thinks that it's clearly doing quite well on my YouTube channel, and she's very supportive of that. Vine used the new X-ray glitch with composters and pistons. I saw Doc M made a video about that. I didn't know how he did it. But it makes sense after they were playing around so much with composters the other day that they were going to find some other kind of exploit with them. And I have not used it because I don't see the need to. I mean, if I wanted to X-ray in my world, I could just go into spectator mode. Like, it's clearly just a bug that Doc M wanted to showcase so it can get patched in the fullness of time. And yeah, I have no need for X-raying stuff. Like, I don't do it anyway, but if I wanted to, I could just do it a different way. Gonna need to mend this axe in a minute. Does my wife play Minecraft with me? We've played Minecraft together a couple of times in the distant past. Back when I used to play on the console, we went round a friend's house and we all played Minecraft together for a few hours. But, yeah, we don't play much on PC. Because she's not that interested, to be honest. Like, she likes playing some games. She's really enjoyed the fact that we have a Nintendo Switch now. She's been playing a lot of Tetris 99. She's better than I am. But, yeah, it's not really the case that she's really been into Minecraft in the same way that I have. And considering how much I talk about it, she's probably just sick of hearing about it. Not in the way that she'd ever tell me to stop, but in a way that, like, yeah, she's not as keen on playing it as I am. Thing is, I can't really set the game to LAN and have her join this world because the local area network, because this PC is wired, you would have to have another computer wired in, and you can't join via Wi-Fi, and the only other devices we have in the house are Wi-Fi. If I do that with a camera account, it's on the same PC. So it's not really possible to open this world to LAN right now. I could put it on a server and she could join that way, but that would also involve, like, server hosting costs and stuff. Unless I just hosted it from this machine somehow, but I'm not tech savvy enough to have to do that, and she doesn't care enough for me to learn. Can totally play Wi-Fi and wired together. Tell that to my local area network, because if I open this world to LAN on this computer and I try to log into it from my laptop, it doesn't happen. Maybe it's just a configuration thing. Maybe I have to forward some ports or something, but like I said, I don't think she cares enough to try. That was sudden. set that llama on fire. Did you see that, Giles? Stand still. We saved the llama, folks. You alright, man? Hi. Oh, you sell lily pads. I'll buy those off you. Heck yes. How many days am I into this world? According to this, 856. That number's not accurate. There we go, 10 lily pads. The trade is locked. We'll never get that again. It's Llamageddon. It is Llamageddon. It's a firewall issue. Okay. I'll just disable that then. Nothing bad will happen. It might also be that I'm, you know, I'm using a PC, my other devices are Macs. I don't know. It's probably nothing to do with that. But yeah, this is an example of how tech savvy I am, where like I don't know whether or not it being a PC and Mac thing could be an issue. They're both playing Java Minecraft, so I assume not, but good thing that kind of fire doesn't spread. I have fire spread turned off in this world anyway. Do I know Megalovania by Toby Fox? I've played Undertale before. So, yes, I suppose. Although I never did that route, so I never actually, like, heard the song in-game, but I've listened to a couple of, like, covers of it and playlists that included it and so forth. Like, the full Undertale soundtrack is so good. How do you turn fire spread off? If you go to /game rule, I don't know if you won't be able to see this. Game rule, do fire tick false, and that switches it off. If you're on Bedrock, I think it's just a toggle that you can switch off in the options menu. Although I'm not sure if that disables achievements or not. But yeah, you can look up more info about commands and stuff like that on the Minecraft wiki if you're interested in learning some of those. I have covered the fire tick thing in a previous episode of Survival Guide, but for the life of me, I can't remember which one it is. You started playing Minecraft in order to answer your kids' questions while they played. Nice. I like that as an approach. You kind of become the encyclopedia for them. Saves them having to Google everything, I suppose. Would I ever do a Bedrock survival guide? I mean, I would like to at some point in the future, but I'm kind of have my hands full with the Java survival guide, and that's something that's a version I know a lot better. I can only imagine the amount of people that would have to correct me in the comments if I didn't know stuff about Bedrock Edition. It would involve a lot more research, I think. Is this survival guide forever? As long as I can, basically. As long as I can. I'm not going to say forever because who knows what will happen. But, you know, I've definitely said forever before, and I plan on just keeping the series going for as long as I can. How am I? I'm good. I'm doing very well today. It's such a nice day out as well. I feel like that's a weird way to answer a question about how I am just by immediately talking about the weather, but the sunlight, just having like a sunny day, automatically puts me in a good mood. Is this stream forever? No, this stream is until 7 o'clock at the latest, probably. Yes, I'm British. What does that have to do with anything? And as I say that, it starts raining. Don't blame me. I don't control the weather. I ain't the weatherman. What were some of my favorite bands when I was into metal? Ooh, good question. Sixth were a good one. I saw them like 4 or 5 times at various places, mostly in Leeds, where I went to university. They were pretty great. All of that like technical metal stuff with like 7 guitarists and whatnot. Ocean Size were a favorite band. I'm not sure if they count as metal or as just like kind of heavy rock and that kind of stuff. But I was into more of the kind of melodic progressive metal kind of stuff, less of the death metal, just screaming all the time kind of thing. To certain people, it all just sounds like noise anyway, so yeah, it totally depends. Between the Buried and Me, also big fan of them. But again, like anything with like a good guitar solo thrown in every now and again. Because I was a guitarist and I still am, but less of an electric guitarist now. And I was into like shredding for a while. What's the outro song in my videos called? Is that this one or is it the previous one, isn't it? It's called Droopy Likes Ricochet. It's from the Minecraft soundtrack. Will the world download be transferable to Bedrock? I doubt it. I think there are programs that can translate Java maps into Bedrock maps, but I have no idea how they work, and there are some features that are in the game right now that aren't available in Bedrock, so I have no idea how compatible those would be. Bit tickled by the idea of me shredding. I was not bad. For my A-level music exam, when I was like leaving college before I went to university, I was playing some like Joe Satriani stuff. I used to like exclusively play Ibanez guitars, and yeah, I was decent. Not refuting the skill, just the spectacle. Where do you think the riffs in my name comes from? I wasn't like I wasn't a particularly showy guitarist. I wasn't like fling the guitar around my neck and crazy stage tricks or anything. I wasn't even really in a band. Like I played with a couple of friends occasionally, but never like in a band kind of situation. I just like being a solo guitarist. Should post a video of me playing guitar. Thing is, if I did that now, I wouldn't be any good. At least not at the electric guitar stuff. I've posted a couple of like Instagram stories where I play my new acoustic guitar. I have a baritone acoustic guitar now, which is real fun. I was quietly good. I mean, depends if you were my neighbors or not. But yeah, after going through the entirety of music college and not really spontaneously developing a music career, I kind of gave up on becoming the world's most renowned electric guitarist or whatever I wanted to be when I was that young. Do I like the sitar? Beautiful instrument. And in the right hands, very, very nice sound to it. Getting back into electric drums. Do it, man. Absolutely. Heck yes. You were going to try guitar. What stopped you? I played a whole variety of instruments when I was a kid. I played trumpet, saxophone, guitar, bit of drums. I was never very good with drums. The coordination required to do different stuff with each of your limbs, I just don't have that. I'm better when, like, as a guitarist, your two hands are kind of working in, if you'll forgive the pun, in concert. They're both kind of working towards the same thing, whereas the whole point of drums is that, like, both your feet and both your hands are kind of doing different stuff all at once. It's the same with piano. Like, I don't have the coordination to play piano because I can't isolate my left hand and my right hand particularly well. In all that spare time you have, right? where was I in school? I went to Leeds College of Music. I went there to study music production, though, so I wasn't, like, going to pursue instrumental tuition or anything like that. I definitely didn't go to, like, a conservatory or anything. But yeah, I wanted to be, like, a recording technician, work in studios, stuff like that. Which is why I still have all of this audio equipment, and that kind of led into my career as a YouTube content creator, really. Having a background in knowing what microphones do is very useful for this career, it turns out. Might be better at drums now you can drive. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. If you're used to your different feet doing different things, then that's like a quarter of the way there already, I think. But yeah, give the drums a try. Absolutely. You did aux percussion for a while, but you never got on with kit. Yeah. I think I would be fine being a timpani player. I'm into that. He's only using 2 tonight. Does anyone play a kalimba? I'm sure somebody does. Somebody in this chat? No idea. You have a weird instrument collection, an ocarina that you're okay at, a little organ that you picked up off the side of the road next to a school. Old school organ. And a ukulele that you can't play at all. My wife plays the uke. On occasion. Love the haircut. I mean, I just put some stuff in my hair. I didn't really get a haircut, but thank you. Do I use phantom membrane for my elytra? No, it has mending. Your mum played piano but always wanted to be a vocalist, so she turned you into one. Nice. Yeah, I've always wished that my voice was better. I have like a really annoying vocal range in that a lot of singer-songwriters tend to be tenor in terms of their range. They tend to be like a little higher voice than I am. I'm like a really annoyingly baritone voice, which doesn't lend itself very well to like pop music at all. Which is why I have a baritone guitar, because it sounds better if I'm playing everything like 5 notes down from the standard guitar range, because then my voice sounds like it's sort of fits what I'm playing, but I don't quite have the low end required to be a bass. But yeah, I feel like baritone is quite comfortable as a range for me. Have I ever played an automaton? I don't even know what that is, so no. Am I excited for Minecon Earth 2019? I mean, in theory, yes. I'm not excited for it as in, like, I'm getting hype for it now, because I can't even remember when that's supposed to be. Probably, like, September sometime, but yeah, I don't know. I'm mostly excited about what's happening in Minecraft now. I feel like looking ahead to the next Minecon already feels a bit preemptive. When there are still problems in the game right now, I can't get excited about the next update quite yet. My voice isn't annoying. Well, I mean, it's not annoying in the sense that it's a problem for me when I speak, but I'm talking about, like, as a singing, if I wanted to sing, I don't really have the right range that I want to make the kind of music I would like to make. Do Google automaton after the stream. Okay, I will try. Your best instrument is the jukebox in Minecraft, or like note blocks. Alright, that axe is looking a little bit broken, but hey, we are now over a full double chest of spruce wood, which is a very good place to be. Then again, I'm probably going to use about that much to finish off this boat, so we'll probably grab a little bit more, but let's go mend a thing. He doesn't have the range, darling. Mrs. Riffs made that reference this morning. I forget where it was or what the reason for it was. I can't even remember, but yeah, it was some joke about somebody not having the range. I can't remember what it was. Still a great reference. Do I listen to Jimi Hendrix? Not really. Which is silly because he's great. But there's just so many artists out there that for whatever reason Jimi Hendrix has passed me by. You missed the salmon. Yeah, I regret the salmon. Do I do any drawing? I'm terrible at drawing. I feel like for all of my other quote-unquote talents, like for all of the musicality and the whatever this is I do in Minecraft now, like, I'm awful at drawing. It's something that I never really practiced in the way that you should, though. That's the thing. I feel like it's something that maybe I would have a knack for had I spent more time actually practicing it, but I always got very impatient with drawing. I always... Any kind of, like, traditional hand art, I guess, I was never very proficient with. I never had the patience for it and gave it the time. David Bowie? Absolutely David Bowie. David Bowie is one of the things that brought me and my wife together. Never too late to do a little drawing. Yeah, I mean, if I committed myself to it now, then I would give it my best shot, but I could not guarantee there would be good results. I guess that doesn't have to be the point, but I would like it to be the point if I'm going to invest my time in it at this stage. It's always like, what is going to be the most effective use of my time? Would love it if David Bowie actually introduced me to my wife. That would be kind of great. You'd like this girl. My David Bowie impression comes directly via Flight of the Conchords. Where the eye patch bread. What do the buttons do? They switch dispensers on either side so that water comes out there. And that way, if those are switched off, then all of the Guardians, they fall through the lava and die of full damage while on fire. And the water saves them from that, so you can hit them. It's 1980 David Bowie from the movie Labyrinth. Yes, I know. I just love that. I love the bit in when he turns up as Ziggy Stardust David Bowie, and then he's trying to leave, and he's clearly on wires, and he like bangs into the table. The light turns off, and he's just like spinning. It's the best. It's such a well-timed joke. Good old Flight of the Conchords. I love that show. Bowie's in space. Morgan Freeman introduced me. I'm imagining this in the Shawshank Redemption kind of era. Morgan Freeman. It's 1976, David Bowie, from the music video Ashes to Ashes. What is that mysterious ticking noise? Nothing over here, nothing over there. Most of the way there with the axe. Filling up on Guardian drops again, as ever. But we have a very simple trash mechanism now. When will you build a 1.14 iron farm? Eventually. The plan is to do everything eventually. But mostly I'm just waiting for any updates from Doc M and Captain Wutax about whether or not the farm is broken in 1.14.1. And I'm waiting for my iron supply to get to the point where I actually need to build a new iron farm. I'm waiting to see if any other designs come out from the community as well, because different people are going to do different stuff. I think there is really a good and a bad way of building 1.14 iron farms. The good way being Doc and Wutax's farm, the bad way being what everybody else does, where you just chuck as many villagers as you can into a room with some workstations and beds, and just let them spawn stuff. You're supposed to be the link bot. You don't have to be. Nightbot kind of does that stuff anyway. Can anyone tell you why Iskall hates diorite? Because he didn't like the texture. And it became a meme. And if there's anything Iskall does well, it's turn memes into long-running jokes that basically define his YouTube channel. He does a lot of other stuff well as well. But you gotta say, it's like a masterstroke of being able to advertise yourself that now whenever anybody mentions diorite anywhere on the internet, someone is like, oh, Iskall will be mad at this. It's how to keep yourself in the public consciousness, right? Like, anytime anybody mentions diorite, you immediately think of him. That's pretty clever. My hair is on point today. Is it? I mean, it's coming to a point, I think, but I don't even know what it's doing today. I'm just letting it do whatever. It's on pointy. It is on pointy. Don't know how you got a skeleton, a spider, and a zombie spawner only 15 blocks away from each other. Luck. And world generation. My most disliked block used to be granite. These days I think granite looks a lot better. So I'm not certain what I dislike, really. But then I like a lot of stuff in this game. I'm very easygoing when it comes to this game. I don't have many criticisms. What Minecraft feature would I most like to be associated with? The rarity of emerald ore. But that's kind of abstract. Every time anyone's silk touches an emerald ore, think of me. That's my legacy. Am I going Super Saiyan? I don't know. What does the scouter say about my power level? You hate mycelium? Get out. Get out of my chat. Mycelium's the best. Mycelium is the homeland. Netherrack looks better now, I think. Am I cat or a dog person? I'm definitely a cat person. I'm just hiding my ears right now. No, I like cats. I've owned a couple of cats that were my wife's cats, and then when we got married, they kind of became my cats as well. But we missed them. They are no longer around, sadly. They both died. I missed them a great deal, and I enjoy any occasion on which to hang out with other cats. Well, everything is kind of staying up there for the moment. I need to bring my... Yeah, that's what I need to do. I've used a lot of dark prismarine lately, so let me make some more dark prismarine. Ford and Arthur are always there. I know, bring them here. No, I kid. I enjoy visiting Ford and Arthur. Nice to be a cat uncle. I wish I could visit more often, but busy life. There's a few cats around here that we enjoy hanging out with. Sometimes they come into our yard and we, like, go out and pet them. The foxes not so much, though. This is just, yeah, it's clogged up with other stuff. There we go. I don't even want to make sea lanterns anymore. I regret having all of these prismarine crystals. Like, look at this. Look at all this junk that's in here for no reason. How do I have so many shards? I use the Guardian farm for XP, and I use a looting sword, so I get a lot of drops from these guys. And people said that ink farm wasn't going to be worth it. Can you imagine yelling Trillian and Zaphod out the back door in the evening? I mean, yes. Would it be weird? Also, yes. It's what you should name the next guinea pigs. Ticking would drive you mad. I mean, I don't really hear it at this point. Like, I'm too busy focusing on other things, and if I want to, I can turn the block sounds down. Like, there you go. Can barely hear it now. I like the sounds of the other blocks, so I'm like... I like the sounds of shulker boxes opening. There's a lot of great sound design in this game. My power level is over 9,000. What? 9,000? There's no way that can be right. Anybody want to follow up with that particular scene? Oh, salmon. Throw that salmon in there. Why do I have 15 spruce leaves? I know I've been farming spruce, but maybe I'm... Do I have an axe with silk touch? Is that what I have? Oh, of course I do. That'd be why. Cool. Thank you, Kuro. Good work. Just gonna casually throw this into the fire. Hup. And hup. And hup. Okay, we're good. Bye. Swoosh. I broke that the other day. Had to go and fix it. It was terrible. Nightmare. Never break anything. Oh, also, what is this? That's the glass from the Guardian farm. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I don't think that's going to be enough. But, yeah, I guess we'll do something with that later. Have I ever had any problem with no squids or underwater mobs spawning in my world? I mean, not really. It happens more with multiplayer worlds because there's like a weird aquatic mob cap now because of turtles and sea fish. Find it peculiar how turning down different sound volumes is such a feature of Minecraft. It's one of the things I wish they would put in Bedrock Edition. Because every time I play Bedrock Edition, the sound balance is really off for me. You can turn down music and sound separately, but like you can't have any individual control over the sounds. It was really irritating when I was playing Cobble Clicker with Zloy because the game was always a little bit louder than he was. And the Ender Dragon is just enormously loud. Like, the Ender Dragon in that video where we fought the dragon in Cobble Clicker actually distorted the input of my recording software, and that should not be possible. It didn't sound like that when I was playing, but it actually clipped hugely when I was playing that all back. Which, yeah, really shouldn't be possible. What am I going to do with those portals? I don't know. Something, eventually. Hi, chickens. put these in here. I need to make another enchantment table for this area. Because I think I'm going to keep that one over at the Guardian Farm in case I need to do some mass enchanting. Right, back on the spruce grind. How's Mendelssohn doing? He's fine. I think he actually refreshes his trades now that I've put that lectern there. Let me check that actually. I haven't looked since I traded with him for some more bookshelves. And he gave me like 3 and then that was it. Hey, good man. Okay, so having this lectern here actually means he refreshes his trades. That's good. That's very good, because he doesn't have a bed. I think he thinks, like, my bed is his. And he's wrong, I tell you. Will Mendelssohn get kids? Nah. No, he's a bachelor. I mean, he lives with me, so he's not allowed to bring girls home. I was trying to work out why people were talking about Animal Farm and Macbeth. I think people are discussing GCSEs. Great work. I like the pods are actually starting to spread down into the farmland. That kind of makes sense. I did a GCSE once. I done a GCSE, mum. We're totally discussing GCSEs in chat. Leave us alone. I mean, fair enough. What's GCSE? GCSE is the examining board in the UK. I mean, it's not the examining board, but it's like the classification of exams, I guess. It's been a while since I did one, so I'm not very good at explaining them anymore. The exams you take when you're like 15, 16 and you're going to college. And by college, I mean like high school if you're in America, because I know you guys think university is college. Secondary education, there you go. It's the certification of exams rather than the examining board, because there are different boards that have different GCSEs. GCSEs went around in your day. Were they called O-levels? I remember a lot of people talking about O-levels and A-levels before I ended up doing either. There's actually people like swapping exam tips and strategy. Hey, Toxic Rain, no problem. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. Glad that you're enjoying the survival guide videos. Welcome to the stream in which I exclusively chop spruce wood for 3 hours. It's been an hour and a half so far. Everyone's enjoying themselves immensely. I hope you are as well. Got to build a boat somehow, though. This is now a revision stream, yeah. there a way to cap the height if you farm giant spruce? I mean, yeah, I suppose there is a way to cap the height if you just put blocks above a certain point, but that inevitably means that you're putting more bone meal in, because the game will try and spawn a giant spruce tree on several of your attempted bone meals, and then you will find out that it can't. If you put the saplings in a place and then just leave them to grow, eventually that'll work for you, but you also kind of have to know how high you want the tree to grow. And there are only 4 or 5 different variants of giant spruce tree, so just pick one and see how you get on with that. So grateful you don't have to mark exams. Yeah, I bet. I am also very grateful I don't have to mark exams, but I have nothing to do with education unless you count making a Minecraft tutorial educational, which I guess some people might, but those people have different priorities. The cheats disable achievements. On some platforms, yes. On Java, no. GCSEs like work on a numbering scale now? That's crazy. It's so weird to me. I'm so glad that I'm out of any kind of like examination environment. Still have nightmares about your master dissertation and defending your thesis? I expect so. It's a traumatic time. Played for 5 years or so, never even fought the Ender Dragon or been to the end. This is the first time you've really tried to find it and go for it, but you can't find the stronghold at all. Throw enough Eyes of Ender, you'll get to it eventually, but it does involve a lot of weird digging down once you find the spot that the Eyes of Ender bring you to. If all else fails, then there are probably programs you can use to look those up. Even if you're on Bedrock, I think Chunk Base works pretty well for Bedrock worlds. We're actually kind of chopping trees in time with the music right now. We were for a minute there. It felt like we were. Is there an efficient way to find a skeleton spawner? Not really. Without using cheats, no. You just kind of have to get lucky. Do a lot of caving. Like, I found mine entirely by accident. I just dug down in a place because I was looking for resources. And, yeah, I found mine entirely by accident. If you don't care about cheating, you can use, like, mapping tools to find them. Like, again, Chunk Base has a way of locating dungeons, so you could use that. Or Amidst. Amidst probably does the same thing. Or you can use... I think /locate will give you the location of a dungeon, but then there's not always going to be a skeleton spawner. You can't specify that. Should probably go do some revision now. You and the rest of the chat, apparently. Enjoy your revision. Hope the exams go well. Has the boat been expanded since the main video? No, I have expanded the smoker setup in there, but not the boat itself. I plan on completing that in another time-lapse later this week, but I don't know why. Like, I don't really have a tutorial related to the boat other than this is how I make a boat look nice. But yeah, it still looks like this. It just has all of this junk down here, which smokes kelp for me. Which is probably not very healthy for it. Why is that? Oh. Oh! I was like, why is this run out of... Yeah, that's why it's run out. Hadn't thought of that. Hadn't considered the possibility that I might actually smelt all the kelp. And it's getting dark, so I need to sleep before the drowned start coming out. Kettle, the armor bug has been a thing for a couple of versions. It's not just a 1.14.1 thing. Oh, look at that. Breakdancing creeper. That's adorable. You get stuck on a lily pad? Or is he just eccentric? Nope, just eccentric. Awesome. You do you, creeper. GG. Yeah, the armor bug has been around for a while. I think it was a thing in 1.13 as well, so don't worry too much about it. It's an observable bug, and you're right, it does happen, but it's not really anything you can do something about in this version yet. It's happened to me on streams before, and people have pointed it out, like, why aren't you wearing armor? And I was like, I was. It just it just disappeared because I went in the nether. On some versions, it seems to be like more consistent that it happens, and some it's like less so. But I think we might actually have gone through all of the kelp in this system now, except for this chest, which is no longer part of it. I need to basically reorganize all of the stuff in here. The way this farm collects kelp and transmits it to this chest. And in theory... Oh, just threw a bucket of water for no reason. In theory, I could... Riffraff with a tier 1 sub, thank you so much. Enjoy your emotes, welcome to the pixels, you are 1 in a million. In theory, I could have a double chest there and just extend it to one side and have this be like a side-to-side thing. Especially considering this is no longer centered. I'm like, well, what does the design of this even matter anymore? Fought the dragon for the first time in all time playing Minecraft. So about 10 years or so, and it was the easiest fight ever. It's not that difficult in the grand scheme of things, is it? I mean, for some folks it is, because some people aren't particularly good with, like, reflexes and getting out of the way of the dragon and stuff like that. I mean, you know, not knocking anybody who finds the fight difficult. But, yeah, if you prepare well and if you know what to expect, it can be a very straightforward experience. So the grand idea for this is to have hoppers feeding into each of the smokers with just, like, a ton of dried kelp blocks in them. And that way this whole system will self-sustain for a while. Can I have those? Thank you. You could even do it so that you have a shulker box on each of the hoppers if you wanted to. That might make a bit of sense. Oh! Nearly got in the way of that, didn't we? And these are all full. And that's hopper transfer speed not being particularly kind. There we go. Let's grab the cooked fish out of here. Yeah, these smokers are almost too fast for hoppers now, which is a weird timing imbalance. But when you have all four of them feeding through a single hopper system, it makes sense that it's a little bit imbalanced. That's why I've got two hoppers going to each chest. With the shulker box, can you just break it, or do you need to break it with a silk touch pick? You can actually punch a shulker box to break it. Like, it feels weird because it breaks slowly, so you think you're going to destroy it, but you can just punch them. You don't need a tool. It's fastest with a pickaxe, though. Senior Mini, have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by today's stream. Enjoy the rest of your day. There we go. We use the kelp to cook the kelp. Great, so we now have 8 full stacks of those. I feel like decorating this a little bit with the kelp blocks, you know? Just kind of throwing a few of these around. But we'll do more of that another time. I like the way kelp blocks look. I haven't really found a great way to use them in builds anywhere. But the Swamp Town seems like a good place for it. They make cool walls. Yeah, I mean, like, having a pattern like this. They tile very well, I think. And they sort of look like weird inverse paper walls. You know? Put some sort of frame around them, they'd look great. Thanks, glad you like the look of Swamp Town so far. I think it's looking quite nice. I do really want to get this boat looking great. Are Endermen rare? Yes. I mean, in the overworld, definitely. They're one of those things that if you're trying to find them, they're really difficult to find, and then when you don't want them, they show up all the time. Hey, Zaron, you made it. Welcome along. It is Choppin Tuesday, and we've got a lot of spruce wood to chop today, so gonna get back on that grind. Is the wood for Swamp Town so I can build a boat there? Yes. Basically, if you see the boat that is now surrounding this kelp farm, the back of it is just not done at all. It's probably going to come out to about... See, I've started it coming up here, but I think it's probably going to come out to about there to have it be in proportion. Which might mean removing some of this dock, but if we can have it come up to about, like, here, maybe, then that would work. And this could just be, like, an area of the jetties, the pontoons, whatever they're called, that comes quite close to it. And then, yeah, the poop deck needs to go up here. Have I made an Enderman farm? No, not yet. There's one of the things I plan to do soon. TM. But yeah, the Enderman farm is something I'm glad I held off until recently as well, because in 1.14 apparently Enderman AI would severely lag out your client. Like, there were some issues with Enderman AI doing the same thing Villager AI has been doing, and basically setting your CPU usage to 100% or something like that. I think that is fixed as of 1.14.1, but I could be wrong. Okay, somebody is banging something into the wall or walking very heavily up and down the stairs. How does this boat fit in with the lore of the world? How did it get in the swamp? Various excuses that I can come up with. Either like some sort of flood, or people built it there and then the swamp kind of drained a little bit, like it used to be an ocean type of thing and now it's a swamp, or maybe it just got flung here by a tornado or something. There's all kinds of like geological disasters that we can come up with to explain the presence of the boat there. I just think it's going to look cool to have a boat there. That's the only reason I'm actually building it, is that I wanted to build the kelp farm first because it made sense to have it in the swamp, and then looking at the shape of it, I was like, well, that looks like the hull of a boat, so maybe we'll build a boat, and then, yeah, I have to come up with a solid excuse for the boat to be there other than just like, me want make boat look pretty. Zarand, I have no idea what that word means. Isn't Mulder Hulk one of the new Avengers? Mulder Hulk is just Hulk with the experience and wisdom of years. Mulder Hulk now. Seen some things. Mulder Hulk sounds like a cross between Marvel and X-Files. Kinda does. Hulk wants to believe. Hulk want to believe. I always appreciated those, like, Twitter accounts and blogs and stuff that were like, film critic Hulk or whatever, but the ones that actually committed to the Hulk voice instead of just writing their opinions in all caps. Because everyone on the internet does that now anyway. But, when they committed to, like, the grammar and the third person voice that Hulk has, when it was like Philosophy Hulk being like, Hulk mad at lack of existentialism, you know, like, that stuff is funny to me. But if it's just someone being like, I don't like this, it's like, no, that's not the Hulk voice. You don't have the Hulk voice. Mulder Hulk is just some swamp thing, abomination, golem, wrathful spirit made of swamp stuff held together by magic. From what, though? That was my main question. Sorry if I wasn't particularly forthcoming with the question. From what? Are we talking D&D here? Is this a Magic the Gathering thing? Are we talking Warhammer? What universe is this? Build a giant Hulk using the kelp. It's not quite Hulk color, but I appreciate the suggestion. Oh, Magic the Gathering. Okay, cool. I was right the second time. It felt like a Magic the Gathering thing. I was like, this is some sort of green-black creature. Fits in a swamp and it's got, like, swampy things. Apparently it's a fungus zombie. Nice! Aren't we all? I know I am. Found you here by listening to your podcast on Spotify, giving good tips on Minecraft. Hey, we've got a Spotify podcast listener. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream today. Very nice to have you. Welcome to Choppin Tuesday. This is my tradition on Twitch here where I just chop wood every Tuesday. Or I chop resources, let's be real. Like, it's not always wood, but right now I just need a lot of spruce wood, so we're chopping. And every time I chop some wood, it's like a little bit of lag spike. Like, look at that. Those, like, red lines on that graph. That's every time I chop a bit of wood. Ew. Ain't pretty. It's like all of these leaves are constantly calculating how far away they are from a log. Good times. How do you tear yourself away from this stream? Hit Alt F4 or Command Q if you're on a Mac. Good thing I'm not stone insta-mining. Hey, stone doesn't check how far it is away from other stone every time you mine it. Stone insta-mining would be a slightly better thing than this. I attempted to build an auto wood farm yet? No, hence why I'm chopping all of this by hand. But I think one of the other episodes I'm going to make this week is going to be exploring the brand new properties of TNT, being able to break all of the blocks it destroys. Got an elytra, but you have no idea how to use it, so how do you use it? Lucky for you, episode 84 of the Minecraft Survival Guide, and yes, that's a number I've memorized because it comes up a lot, is an elytra flying lesson episode, so I recommend heading over to YouTube and checking that out. Note that it is pretty heavily, like, it favors the Java Edition controls, so I don't know if you're using, like, Minecraft Pocket Edition or console or whatever. There are different ways of that working. It's really weird as well. I was looking at some footage of console edition Minecraft the other day, which might have been the Xbox One. I can't remember for certain. But I was watching one of Achievement Hunter's videos, and they were flying around with elytra, and your point of view actually, like, banks when you turn with the elytra, which is something that doesn't happen in Java. It's really weird. Just seeing them flying around and actually kind of like shifting the perspective to the left or the right is really quite strange. Do I have any other episode numbers memorized? Episode 24 is the one where we go to the end and actually get elytra in the first place. The main reason I have those memorized is because so many people come into my comments and like ask me how I'm flying because they haven't played Minecraft since like 1.7 or something and they don't know what elytra is. So usually I point out that like in episode 24 I go to the end cities and get elytra and I explain what elytra is, and then I'm like, if you want to see how to use them, go watch episode 84. Because I give a brief explanation, but episode 84 is probably the most condensed advice I give on how to use elytra. I think the Ender Dragon is easier than the Wither, definitely. Especially later. Once you have wings, once you're able to fly, the Ender Dragon fight is so simple. Elytra the wings on some arthropods. Yeah, beetles specifically. I believe beetles are the inspiration for them. I'm pretty sure it's actually pronounced elytra as well, but then people tend to gravitate towards a particular pronunciation of something if they use it a lot, and elytra just sounds more satisfying to English speakers, I think. There's a tendency in... is it British English or American English to emphasize the second syllable of a polysyllabic word? It's like the way Americans say duvet instead of duvet. In fact, most of them just say comforter, so... but, yeah, there's some words that they kind of go for the second syllable pronunciation. It's like everyone calling Naruto Naruto. They just, if they see a word that's like 3 syllables, they're like, well, the emphasis goes there. And they're like, no. I can see that, Zara, and I can't read it. Because it's a bunch of Greek-looking characters. It's either Greek or Cyrillic. I can't tell. It's the pronunciation. Right, yeah, yeah. Is there a word for, like, is it like phonetic alphabet? Is that the name for those type of characters, like the general name? You noticed that with the word array pronounced array? Really? That's weird, Joel. Who are you talking to? Who are these people you're talking to who can't pronounce words? Iskel. Oh. There you go then. There's your problem. Watch the episode where I built the iron farm. You don't understand the mechanics or the iron farm. Can I explain it a little bit? Which one? Are you talking about the really bad iron farm or the 1.13 iron farm? If you're talking about the one I built last week, don't worry about it. It's not worth your time. Believe me. Zoloy XP is from Russia. International Phonetic Alphabet. Right, got you. Are wandering traders bugged? Yes and no. What is bugged about them specifically, you think? Because there are some aspects of them which are a little bit weird, but I think the llamas should despawn now. Like, I haven't seen either of the llamas that were left behind by that first wandering trader I found. I don't see them around here anymore. If they're anywhere, they should be over here in this forest. The llamas don't have any natural predators, which is a weird thing to say, but it's true. There seems to be just sheep in here now. Unless they've wandered off somewhere. But I wonder if they despawned retroactively. They run so fast. Oh, they're meant to do that. They're meant to run fast. They get away from mobs that way. They drink a potion of invisibility and then they run away. But they will sprint like that to avoid hostiles. The one with the iron golems dropping into the lava. I mean, that's both of them. That's how you farm iron. But I assume you mean the one I built last week. Yeah, don't worry about it, because it's not really worth it. In theory, iron golems should track hostile mobs within about a 32 block radius, but that really doesn't seem to be the case. Or it wasn't until maybe the update might have fixed that. But in the 1.14.1 pre-releases, leads were still bugging them out, so I don't think Iron Golem AI has been touched. When did I build the build on the kelp farm? Today's Minecraft Survival Guide video, Cosren. Check it out when you've got a moment. We have a smoker inside of there now. That's cooking all the kelp into useful fuel blocks. Or it's cooking it into dried kelp and then I craft the fuel blocks, but same difference. There's no mob though. I mean, there might be one underground or something that you're not seeing. If it's in a void world or something, then I've no idea. They're probably just buggy, like you said. The 1.13 one? Okay, so before 1.14, villagers create iron golems because there are enough of them in a village and there are enough doors. That's the basics of it. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but basically you need a certain amount of doors in a village, and the game assumes that a village's population is high enough that they need an iron golem to protect them. And so with proximity to doors and enough villagers registering those doors within a certain area, they will spawn an iron golem. What players do is make all area other than like a central section of water that's kind of sloping in towards the middle. You make that the only area that an iron golem can spawn. And then you use water streams to flush it into that central tube that directs it down into the lava. The lava kills the iron golem, and it's built at head height so that the drops that come out of the feet of the iron golem get collected in hoppers, and that's how you get iron. If you want a better explanation of any of this, go to literally any technical Minecrafters channel. Go check out DocM, go check out Frilioth, go check out, I imagine Logical Geek Boy will have one. I mean, Tango Tech if you want to go big. But yeah, there are a lot of people who will explain iron farms a lot better than I will, but basically, you put enough villagers and enough doors in a space, they start to spawn iron golems, and an iron farm is just a way of anticipating where they will spawn those iron golems so that you can harvest the iron from them. If that makes sense.
I'm trying to get it. It's floating around.
Yep. It's there on my thumb. Yeah, how'd it go?
Ah, good. I'm sweating. I have homework. But I'm doing lessons that are in the 3rd level already.
Ah, you're a 3rd level Spaniard.
I'm a Spaniard. But yeah, I thought we were doing stuff that's in level 2. She was like, no, this is like well into level 3.
Nice.
You just have a gap that's like in these particular kind of parts of your speech.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know who's cooking that, but whatever that is smells really good.
Frying.
Yeah. Fried stuff. Smells unhealthy, which is why it smells good.
But yeah.
Is that my lovely wife? It is my lovely wife.
Lovely wife here.
As opposed to the other hateful wife I have. This one's the lovely one. No, I kid, of course. Congrats on being a 3rd level Spaniard.
I haven't taken any of the little tests that show my level going up, but we chat in Spanglish, but like she speaks to me mostly in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I understand most of the things.
Good.
Like the gist, it's getting better.
Yeah.
And there was stuff that I was like.
And ultimately, one of the phrases that you memorize quite early is like, "What is that in English?"
Oh yeah.
And then you're just like, okay.
But yeah, no, it's getting there. Yeah, there's more that I'm understanding that I'm like, my brain's like, you don't know that, like, and then like I repeat back to what I think she says, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. Although I learned the word for to turn something on, like to turn on the computer, because it looked like the sentence said something about burning a computer, and it looks like incendiary, but
right.
It's not. It's like encendiendo, is like turning on.
Okay, interesting.
And I was like, does that say I'm burning the computer? And she started laughing, and she's like, no, you're turning it on. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Wait, is the computer burning?
Yeah.
Did somebody, who left the computer on?
Exactly, that's why I was like, excuse me, what now?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? But yeah, no, the class went well. We had a good chat about accents and holidays and vacations and work schedules and just random stuff at the beginning, and then it's getting better. I'm improving.
High five. Great work.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're improving.
Yeah. We know it's fake. What's fake?
Oh, somebody just... There's this dumb thing where, like, nobody on Twitch has messages that pop up in the chat when somebody donates. It always pops up as, like, a notification on the screen. But then people think that they can write, like, oh, so-and-so has donated $5,000, yay, and, like, in the chat, and, like, nobody is fooled by it, but they still do it. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I see.
So I just timed somebody out. In Hebrew, when you want to say turn something on, the literal translation is to open it. Yeah, no, I think I've heard that somewhere. Isn't there like a comedian who has something where it's like you say like you want to open the lights?
Yeah, my mom does that in English.
Yeah.
She'll be like, close the lights.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, I'll close the lights.
Your mom is too stressed out.
She's always said this. This is a new thing. And I don't know if there's a connection in how it translates in Spanish, but...
Maybe she's always been stressed out. I don't know.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a common translation of a lot of things. So.
Yeah. Hey, Rampage. I am enjoying my week so far. Hope you are as well.
That took a lot of brain power.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, the indirect object pronouns are my bane, just like knowing the gender of things.
Your bane.
My bane. But you know what I mean? Like they're just difficult, like to actually like understand on looking like what the thing is. But it's just getting the memorization of it down.
Mm-hmm. Got to get that routine going. What's the stuff going off over there? Yeah.
Spanish they do that too. Turn on the time to open the tab. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I need a drink.
You alright? Is it all going well?
Yeah.
You doing your chopping?
Yeah, we're chopping wood.
Good.
It's pretty standard. Might go out to a desert in a minute and harvest some sand, because that's the other thing I'm lacking of late. Yep, and you've moved a lot of stuff around on my dashboard now. It's fine. There we go.
You have your trackpad in the reverse way.
Yes.
It throws me off.
The sensible way. My Muffin and I has resubscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the 2 months of support. See some resub hype in the chat, please.
We also chatted about the fact that the letters changed in like the alphabet, like when they.
Oh yeah, when they
simplify the
what you said they realized that CH didn't have to be its own letter, and you're like, but it is though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, that's how I learned it, and you're like A B C Che.
Che.
And then you're learning in high school, and they're like, there's no Che, and I was like, what? When did this happen? And then it was like in the 90s. I'm like, oh, okay.
See you later, Toxic Rain. Thanks for hanging out. I don't use reverse mouse movement. I have a trackpad on my laptop where because it's a Mac, you have the trackpad thing where you scroll up and down using a 2-finger gesture, and mine is set to the reverse of what it is by default now, because that's what the old Macs used to do, and I'm more used to that than like scrolling down to go up. I feel like if I scroll down on the trackpad, it's moving the page down, and that feels more intuitive to me, probably just because I've been used to it for the longer time. I also play with inverted look when it comes to like Y-axis in controller-based video games, but that's just me being weird, apparently. It's like joystick controls, right? You pull up, you pull towards you, and it looks up, but that's like down on the D-pad, and to some people that doesn't make sense. To me, it makes perfect sense.
It makes sense.
It's not the D-pad.
Intuitive for me.
It's not the D-pad though. It's the analog stick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, but it's just like it's not like automatic or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's more natural that way. Yeah, I mean it depends what you're used to, I guess.
They both make sense for either reason, you know.
Played it like an airplane. Yeah, I mean you pull towards you to go up, and that's how joysticks in planes work. Are they called joysticks? What are they called? Like flight controls, I guess. I'm not sure what they would be called. It's all about motion controls these days anyway. I've been having a lot of fun with like archery and Breath of the Wild, and just having like a switch in your hands and being like, it's over there, it's over there. Throw the bomb.
Yokes. Flight sticks or yokes.
Yokes.
Steering wheel
There you go.
ones.
Grasp the yoke.
That's funny.
It is time for Choppin' Tuesday. It is indeed. We have 2 hours worth of spruce wood under our belts and nearly 2 full double chests, which is where I need to be, really. Twins are asking if I have mods. No, this is completely unmodified vanilla Minecraft 1.14.1. Dante Wolf, thank you for asking. Usually, if I'm playing with any kind of mods whatsoever, it's usually just Optifine, which is a very straightforward client-side vanilla mod which improves performance and allows you to customize a couple of small things about the game. But I don't play with, like, content mods very often because I am perhaps best known for playing vanilla Minecraft and I enjoy it better than modded Minecraft. No offense to the hashtag team modded representatives in the chat. Isn't the joystick in airplanes called the Prindle?
The Prindle. It's the Prindle.
What about TMI or JEI? Neither of them are necessary in vanilla once you have the recipe book after like 1.12. Because all of the recipes are just like here. All there. You might prefer the format of those mods, which is fine, but in vanilla, because I'm not playing with any content mods, I don't need to look up recipes because I know most of them. And if I do, the recipe book is there. Use barrels in the ships because the barrel texture looks like spruce wood. I'm probably not going to use barrels for the actual body of the ship, but I'm going to end up using them to decorate the ship eventually, yes.
Sorry.
We get more Mrs. Riff's assisted streams in future. I mean, depends on the type of assistance, but I expect so.
You do all the keyboard and I click things.
Yeah. Look over there.
That'd be a nightmare. I'd be the worst.
That's how me and my mum used to play Tomb Raider. Like, I think I would do the keyboard controls and she would do the mouse and, like, shooting at stuff, because I got jump scared by that game a couple of times and it made me too nervous. So we used to play it together.
So cute.
I would, like, sit on her lap and control the action and do the jumping and stuff. And she would, like, fire at stuff with the guns.
That's so cute.
It's really weird.
No, it's super cute and soft and sweet that she would, like, play games with you. I love that.
This was the original Tomb Raider, by the way, not any of the recent Tomb Raider games. This is not like Rise of the Shadow of the Tomb Raider or whatever the more recent ones are. But yeah, this was Tomb Raider 1 on the PC as well, and that was probably somewhere in the region of 1997. Yeah, I think so.
That came out like when I was like in like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah, I'd have been like 9 at the time, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got jump scared easily back in those days. These days I'm a hardened professional when it comes to jump scares and things. I don't even get jump scared by movies that much anymore.
No.
It happens on occasion.
You're much less easily startled than I am. I'm a big win when it comes to that.
I feel like you jumping at stuff makes me jump more often than the thing in the movie does.
Like, if I watch a scary movie, I will be like, I will yell. Like, it won't even be like,
Yeah.
I'll just jump. Like, I will scream. Like,
Yeah.
I just out of automatic, like, fear response.
Be like, yeah.
No, like, loud.
Yes, I know. I was just not doing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
loud
you're not
because
gonna-
of the
you're not gonna do
microphone.
that, but yeah, like, I always feel bad with anyone I'm watching a scary movie with because I will just shriek. And then I'll laugh hysterically, which completely breaks the immersion of the scary thing because I'll just... It's silly.
I haven't played any of the new Tomb Raider games. I've heard they're good. I've played whatever the reboot one was that was out on Xbox. God, what was that one even called?
Which one?
The Tomb Raider game that I played when Adam gave me his Xbox.
That one where she gets impaled 1,000,000 times if you miss that quick time event?
Seems to happen a lot on all of the recent Tomb Raider games, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of the worst.
I was right, 96.
There we go. Yeah, so I don't know if we got it the year it came out, but we definitely played it, and it was scary. It was the one where, like, you walked into that one canyon and the T-Rex came out the other end, and I was like, no. I wasn't, like, super scared of the video game T-Rex, but Jurassic Park scared the crap out of me the first time I watched it, so...
You scared me too.
Yeah.
How old were we when that came out? We were like 5. You know what I mean? Like 6.
I remember, like, that was on TV at Christmas. It was one of those things where it was, like, the first time it was on terrestrial TV was at Christmas. I remember having to, like, go to bed because I was too scared by the dinosaurs to watch it. Yeah.
I had a friend who had rented it from, like, Blockbuster, and we were watching it, and once, like, the T-Rex started coming out, we'd have, like, a little, like blanket fort kind of situation, and I was like, I'm just gonna go in here and hang out. Don't mind me.
Peace.
Yeah, this is a safer space.
The T-Rex came out and I dipped.
Yeah, pretty much, and then just hearing all the shrieking and stuff, and which is almost worse because then you're just imagining what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna go in the blanket fort and read a book.
I just had that kid brain where I was like, well, now I've seen a T-Rex on the TV, it's gonna come through my window while I sleep, you know, because the T-Rex's only thing is just like eating small kids while they're asleep. Exactly. Like, that's got nothing better to do.
While you're on the toilet.
Yeah. That poor man. So I think I'm probably done chopping for the moment as far as the spruce wood goes. I think we've got enough. I mean, whoa, okay, that was weird. I don't know if it will be enough, but it will be plenty for now, and I can always farm some more if I need to. I think we're going to go out to the desert and get some sand, because that's the other thing I need. I might turn some of this dirt into mycelium at some point. I've got too much of it now. Dark oak spruce, yeah. Let's put those away in here, and in here, and in here. I have one piece of kelp that I'll try and get rid of. But yeah, I've got one shulker box of sand, and we'll probably fill up a few more. I'll also take a bed with me, because that's something I always forget to do whenever I go out to the desert, is bring a bed. Having somewhere to sleep makes it infinitely better.
Can I come and sit for a little bit?
Yeah,
Just
if you want to.
Let my brain stop overheating from the amount of Spanish.
Yeah, that's fair. I might actually take a short break right about now, because I probably should. I'm going to take a break, grab myself another cup of tea. You folks can grab some snacks and so forth, and we'll be back here in a few minutes' time. What's up, my dudes? I can probably rejig the webcam a little bit. When you pop in. Fev, thank you for the bits. Mrs. Riffs is bringing in the chair.
Ow!
You okay?
Yep, just dropped the chair on my foot slightly. I'm okay.
Hey, Skull Daisy with 50 bits. Thank you so much.
Oh, let me get my water.
Hope everyone's getting comfortable. Settling in?
Yes.
Do you want a microphone?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you just going to talk louder?
You can do microphone, you don't mind.
There we go.
There's so much random stuff on your desk.
Let's try this.
Just don't want to, like...
Give me a
Equally.
mic check.
Check. I'm here.
One more time?
Check. Can you hear me?
No, the gain on the board is really far down. Try now.
Hello? Hello? Is it doing a thing? We good? No? Yes? No?
I can compress you a little bit more as well, because we have onboard compression with the new mixing desk. It's so good.
Compression. Oh, this is the first time we've done it with this new mixer.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of getting the sound used to things.
Getting it dialed in.
With the second person.
Folks in the chat, can you hear Mrs. Riffs okay?
I'm here. Oh, I'm off on the side. Hello.
Yeah, I can probably move this stuff around. It'll probably mess with the green screen a bit, but we can shuffle that over slightly. Textbook.
Ah.
Yeah, you want to angle it slightly towards the wall
I'm trying.
so it doesn't fall immediately on us. Immediately? What? Directly? Does Mrs. Riffs have social media? I mean, yes, but...
Voy a tratar una cosa. Okay.
You good?
I think so. Am I good? I don't know. Can you hear me? I'm just checking.
Am I good?
I'm just trying to adjust the microphone so I'm not like leaning to talk to the microphone. I'm off to the side.
I think on my... No, stay where you are. On my main stream state, I have the...
Oh.
There it is.
Hello.
Your t-shirt is keying slightly, which is weird.
Oh no! Should I change my shirt so I don't look like a weird glitchy goblin?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone really minds.
Should I change my shirt? It's such a cute shirt though.
Maybe change it.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Okay.
Or like put something on over the top if you can or whatever, but if you're sweaty then.
I'm not gonna put on like a sweatshirt. Okay. I shall return. It looks sparkly.
I'm gonna have some grapes in the meantime. XD King Freddy, I do stream. Yes, welcome to the stream. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Doing a LAN party. Apparently my firewall is preventing that. And I would rather not mess with that on the stream because I don't want to publicly announce live on the internet that I've taken my firewall down. Invade my computer now while you can. Do I play Clash Royale? I do not. I do not play Clash Royale. Let's put it back on the BRB screen. What is a LAN party? LAN stands for Local Area Network, and it used to be a thing that how you would play networked games with a bunch of friends back when the internet wasn't really as developed enough to have peer-to-peer gaming. So when there weren't like servers that you could join, nobody's internet connection was good enough, you would literally wire everyone into the same network. Everyone would bring like laptops or their own PCs over and you would play like 8-player games of StarCraft or whatever, you know? Doom, Quake, that kind of stuff. Was Doom ever like a LAN thing or was it just Quake? Quake multiplayer was a LAN party thing back in the day. I remember playing games of StarCraft with my friends where you would have to literally use up the phone line, those like modem to modem games.
Mejor.
When
Mejor.
you were like, you dial into your friend's computer and they'd be like, "Don't pick up the phone."
Yeah, our phone thing would always just like kick us off if we were on the internet and then someone tried to call.
Yeah.
You're just like, well.
Back in the day, I'm going to use the internet. Nobody touch the phone.
Yeah, pretty much.
So funny.
Pretty much. Hello. It's very weird seeing myself mirrored like this.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly awkward. Anyway, I'm going to eat
But the
my
t-shirts
snack.
are the right way around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
Yes.
Everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not aggressively sparkly shirt.
You're gonna eat some seaweed and hang out and chat.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
Oh, have enough sesame oil.
Now I can see the event list again. Can you have more than one Elytra? Yes, absolutely. If you visit more than one end city, Ryan Groves! Halo. Not sure if that's a reference to what you could do with LAN parties or just somebody saying hello, but thank you for the 100 bits. Hello. Is this a flavored seaweed? No, it's just nori, just like
Just
roasted seaweed. But she's got some sesame oil with it.
Almost out of sesame oil. So,
True.
very little.
Another JT with a 3-month resub. Thank you so much for the 3 months of support. Can you see some resub hype in the chat, folks?
Why
Okay.
not use it in a sushi? That involves making sushi.
Yeah.
Making some
We
sort of
don't
roll.
we don't have all of the sushi accoutrement.
I'm quite
I feel
happy
like-
just to eat a hunk of seaweed.
I feel like with Japanese cuisine, using the word accoutrement just feels weirdly wrong. Whatever the Japanese word is for accoutrement.
Someone said they liked my hair, which is very sweet of them. So thank you.
I like your hair too.
I do too. Not bad.
Am I also sweet?
You are.
It's 1 a.m. here and you're watching Choppin' Tuesday. It's Choppin' Wednesday for you then. Choppin' Wednesday, the paradox emerges. Choppin' Wednesday, lost in time. I don't want to be here. I want to be on the opposite side of that. Sunny Spacecraft with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much for subscribing. Enjoy your emotes. Welcome to the Pixels. You are 1 in a million. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Always forget you have Prime. Haha, now you remember.
Yes, I'm eating kelp.
Yes, seaweed ASMR is happening.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm trying not to like chew directly into the microphone.
Shopping and chatting Tuesday, it is indeed. Oh, I have not been back to these chunks for a while, and you can tell because they're loading all slowly. I made a special point of not deleting these chunks, though, even though they were out in the middle of nowhere, really. But, yeah, we have this temple hooked up to the nether hub, so none of the sand around here will have regenerated until I get a little further away. Then as we get further out in this direction... Yep, that's definitely a spot I've dug up before. There's probably going to be a savannah village around here somewhere, which is something I've not been to in the series yet. There's definitely a couple of desert villages around here. Also, this wonderful bit where it looks like this is kind of generated sticking out of the wall. It's pretty fun.
That's odd. Like a big square cliff face, but made out of sand. I don't.
Yeah. Big old sand edifice. I wave my bed at it. Shovel in shoes day. It is. Making it sound more French. Shoes day. Break a single block there. I also don't know if that is all sand, isn't it? It's weird because sand looks so different now than it used to that it's become harder to distinguish it from sandstone, at least on the surface level. I wave my bed in your general direction. Savannah Village costume is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen them in game yet.
Nope.
Although maybe I found a Savannah Village in one of the little introductory videos where I was like, oh hey, pillager outposts are going to be a thing, and I think when I was preparing the world for updating to 1.14, I flew over a savannah village in a test world, but I haven't been to one since the update. Haven't interacted with the villagers there. What time is it here? It is 5:30 here in the UK. And a very sunny 5:30 it is too. I can hear the ice cream van. Your father smells of sweet berry. Which is actually a thing in Minecraft now, so it tracks. I like that.
I heard you filming earlier, and you were talking about chorus fruit a lot, and I was like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I might go back and farm some chorus fruit later. I set up a farm for it. Have I found a pillager outpost yet? Yes, I have. If you go to the Minecraft Survival Guide series on my YouTube channel, and it's basically the 3rd or 4th episode I made when it came to updating to 1.14. I found a villager outpost. I started a raid. It didn't go well.
What happened?
I died.
Oh,
Actually,
no.
no, I didn't die. I tried to do a raid, and I lost the raid because all of the villagers got killed.
Oh no.
Was how it happened. All of the villagers but one, and I think that guy didn't have like a profession or anything, so it didn't count towards the population of the village. Yeah, my plan in the long run is to avenge that village by going back there, bringing a couple of other villagers and starting a villager breeder there, completely repairing the whole place and fortifying it against the pillager raids, and then trying again and using the knowledge I've acquired about villagers and how they work, and probably just trapping a few of them in their houses, to be honest. Put them all underground. And then, yeah, create like a safety bunker for them.
Num num.
And then just take out the pillagers myself.
Yummy.
It's weird. The ice cream van is happening in the background, but the music in the media player is also kind of like quiet piano, and I sometimes can't tell the difference between what's like the Minecraft soundtrack and what's the ice cream van outside. Like, I'm pretty sure Teddy Bear's Picnic isn't a motif in the Minecraft soundtrack. How tall am I? I'm about 6 foot. I'm like 6 foot and then an extra half an inch. I was gonna say, where's the trader? He's down here by the river.
Llama.
Pathfinding to me, as they usually do. The llamas are cool. They actually despawn now, though. Oh, you've got lily pads as well, have you? I see how it is. Oh, he's selling sand. How exotic. 3 types of dye and always packed ice, never blue ice. Blue ice is like the only worthwhile trade from these guys. And he's just selling the packed kind. Yeah, he's abandoned one of those llamas, but it's still going to despawn anyway. What is that in centimeters? Let me introduce you to my friend Google. Yes, this guy is literally selling sand in the desert.
Sorry, I'm not very chatty. I'm
That's
just
fine.
like, just chilling.
It gotta be. You can relax. This is a very relaxing stream because it's literally just block gathering, so it doesn't have to be any hard thought or complex philosophy going into this. It's just a little bit of whooshing sand sound effects. It's quite a soothing noise. Also, I love the new noise that they've... Oh, everything just kind of popped there for a minute. I love the new noise they've got for planting crops. It sounds so much better than the old, like, grass breaking sound effect they used to have.
Yeah. I don't know what it sounds like. Like, what's the difference? Like,
It's less harsh sounding. It's a lot more kind of like, rather than it being like, you know.
Who is the kid? I'm the kid.
The kid is the protagonist of the Supergiant game Bastion.
Oh, my nose is slightly running.
Also an outlaw.
It's okay. I kind of probably look like a little boy sometimes.
Well,
I'm quite small.
You're also sat like if I go back here and you came forward a little bit, probably look like we were similar heights.
Yeah.
I'm down here.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of small, but yeah.
This camera does perspective.
Yeah. And I don't know what the quality of the thing is. I'm tiny in the corner. Just got short hair and little glasses, and I'm like, hi. No, I am an adult woman.
I wonder if I could do this.
An adult human being.
Can I do properties?
But I'm not offended or anything, so don't worry. No big deal.
Can I do like an arbitrary rotation filter on this?
I don't know. What do you mean?
I'm trying to see if I can. Where is...
Hopefully I don't have
scaling aspect ratio.
seaweed in my teeth.
No suppression. No, I was trying to see if I could like rotate the webcam so that like you were like slightly at an
I'm also
angle,
slouching.
so
I'm sitting like this. I'm not sitting up particularly straight. I'm kind of being like a little goblin.
I was trying to see if I could like rotate the camera so I was like further down and you were like up there.
It's all good.
Just to balance it slightly, would be like at a Dutch angle.
My favorite hot beverage, probably tea.
You've accustomed pretty well to drinking tea on the daily.
I used to drink coffee a lot more, but it does make my anxiety go like through the roof. Makes me very tense. So I have to have like a chill day. Like if I go out for coffee casually, I'm good.
Yeah, you and I are basically the same in that regard, right? You're like, I'll have coffee when I'm not doing anything else stressful with my day, and it's just like hanging out with friends. It's a social thing.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's like alcohol. If you mix it with anything like stressful or, you know, any kind of bad emotions, it just kind of amplifies stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, this is not great. It brings out all the negativity. But I do like coffee. But tend to drink tea a lot more. And cocoa is nice, but I don't really drink that super often. I feel like that's like a holiday thing. I feel like, or like if we're at your parents' house in the evening, and they want a hot beverage, like, do you want cocoa? It'll happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Normally tea.
Why do I need all this sand? The sand is for a couple of things. Mainly, I want to smelt it all and turn it into glass, and then dye that glass and use it to surround a guardian farm that I built a while ago. Sand is also useful for just like terraforming areas and for mixing with gravel to turn it into concrete. And all of these things require quite a large amount of sand, so I am gathering as much of it as I can so I don't have to worry about it later. Pix wife, do you like playing Minecraft?
Pix wife. I am the Pix wife. I do. I used to. I don't really play it very much anymore. And by very much, I mean at all. But there's so many cool little changes to things. I'm like, oh, look at a bunny.
Rabbits weren't in the game when you
No,
last
there's
played.
so many things that are new. And like they've changed the look of certain things, but there's all these other extra elements and functionalities like elytra and whatever that are just completely new to me. So it would be something that could be fun to do, but like in the future. But have not played it in ages. When I did play it, it was fun though. Very engrossing to the point where I was like, I need to stop playing this because I'm playing this too much.
I feel like you have a lot more restraint than me when it comes to that kind of stuff. You're like, I will play this forever if I don't stop now, and I feel like that's potentially what's prevented you from playing more Minecraft in the past. It's just like, I understand where this leads.
With most games, it's like that. Like, I've never finished a Pokemon game because I'm like, I will just keep playing this, and I'm like, I have other things I need to do, and I get very tunnel vision-y when I get into something, when I get really excited about a thing.
I feel like that's why Tetris has been such a good game for you, because like there's a natural end to a game of Tetris. It's when all of the blocks get to the top of the thing and you lose.
Exactly, and
like,
I've played it a lot.
Yeah.
I've played it a lot, but it's like, oh, that game is over and you can play another one, or you can just put it down.
Yeah.
And then it's not like you're like, oh, but I have to remember where I was at in my progress. It's like, no.
And the games also take literally like 5 minutes to play or less sometimes if you're not doing well. And yeah, it's nice to just dip in and out of a game like that.
Yeah.
I feel like Tetris is one of those games that it's done that for so long, and it's such an effective formula that I can see why it's endured for so long.
Yeah.
It's like, why change it?
Exactly. It's a good game, for sure. And yeah, like that's right now. That's the game that I end up playing the most.
Mm-hmm.
We'll occasionally play like Mario Party together or something silly.
I like that. I want to do more of that.
But yeah.
We need more friends locally that we can play Mario Party with.
I told you at the beginning to chop sand, you're not in the stream. What are you doing now?
See, the thing is, I'm not doing this because you told me to. I'm doing this because I decided I was ready to chop sand. Like, it's... The main problem I have is with people telling me what they want me to do. Because I have an agenda that I want to stick to, and when I've completed that agenda, I'll consider doing anything else. I'm not keen on the backseat gaming, though.
Columns instead of Tetris.
Yeah, I played columns for a while. I didn't really get it. I think Tetris just made more sense. And I had Tetris on the Game Boy after I had columns for the Mega Drive, but columns was one of those games that came in like a 3-pack with 2 other games. It was like columns, something else, and I think Super Hang-On, which was a motorbike game.
Super Hang-On, no.
Yeah,
I didn't have a Sega, so I have no idea.
It was like a Superbike style game, just like a racing game, I guess. But back then, those types of games were so primitive that it was kind of difficult to see what was going on. I got straight into Sonic the Hedgehog and then Streets of Rage and stuff like that from there. I had one of those combination cartridges that had Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic 2. And while that was great because it meant like 2 games for the price of 1, basically, it wouldn't combine with the, you know, the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge that you like flip down the top of it. I guess if you weren't a Sega person, you probably didn't see these, but like you could combine Sonic and Knuckles with other Sonic games and play as Knuckles in those games.
I do remember when that came out. I do remember that. Yeah.
So you could play as Knuckles in Sonic 2 if you had a cartridge that was just Sonic 2. But mine, because it was Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, it didn't recognize it. And so it was like, you can't play as Knuckles in this one because it's like not a recognized cartridge for the game. And I'm like, no, but the game is on there, and I couldn't quite understand why it didn't like let you combine those two. But it makes sense now that I understand how some of this stuff works.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, this is stupid.
As a kid, I was like, why can't I play it? But then my friend who lived like a couple of streets over had the Sonic 2 cartridge like by itself. So that was the only occasion on which I got to play Sonic 2 with Knuckles, was when he was like around.
They grew up with Atari. My neighbor had an Atari, and I think a cousin had an Atari. I didn't have an Atari. I went straight to the original NES.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely played Atari when I was a kid as well. But NES was the kind of main one at the time.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter the other day had like what were your first 5 video games that you ever played? And a lot of people were like, oh, Doom and Legend of Zelda and this kind of stuff. And I was like, QBasic Nibbles, which was basically Snake but on a really old computer. QBasic Gorillas, which was that one where you had 2 gorillas on skyscrapers, and you just entered like an angle that you wanted to throw, and a velocity that you wanted to throw it at, and there was like a wind speed thing.
Yeah.
And it was basically like, if you hit your opponent with a banana, then you won.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, this is how we teach kids mathematics.
Yeah.
I played a couple of like text-based adventure games, so like a Zork style thing, except it totally wasn't Zork. I think my dad used to occasionally like program stuff like that. It was like an Aladdin's Cave one that I think he wrote at one point. And it was totally the same formula. It was like, you know, you have entered a cave. To the west of you is a door. To the north of you is this. You have a sword and a shield. What do you do? And then I would try and enter a bunch of stuff that it wasn't possible to do, and it would be like, I don't understand that command.
Yeah.
What else did I say was on the list? Sonic the Hedgehog was the last one. But yeah, there were a couple of other things.
I remember when because I had an old Game Boy, the original Game Boy, and then I remember when my cousins got a Game Gear. It was like
Yeah.
in color, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, the future!" Like
Yeah.
it was just the most intensely cool thing ever.
Everybody's cousin had a Game Gear, but like
Yeah.
very few people I actually knew had one. But my cousin Robert had one. It was so much like the cousin's game system for some reason. It was really weird.
That's silly. Yeah, no, I had a regular old gray blocky Game Boy.
I had a blue version of the same blocky Game Boy.
Yeah.
Like it was the same games, but the blue shell.
Yeah.
Everyone who plays Mario Kart just like
The blue shell.
the blue shell. Oh no! You got eaten by the Groot. Yeah, that's the Zork style thing.
I had some weird games, and I definitely remember my parents, like when I had my NES, I had like 3 games. I think Super Mario 3 came with it, and they bought me 2 other ones, like a Ninja Turtles one, and this weird surfing game, surfing skateboarding game with a gorilla. I don't know what it was about gorillas in the 90s, but everyone was like, gorilla!
People were all up in those gorillas.
But,
It was Jane Goodall.
yeah, but I...
Started that particular trend.
I guess.
The Jane Goodall video game.
But, the whole kind of like concept of how you played a video game and everything was very different for them, because they were just like, we'll get you a new one when
you finish the old
when
one.
you finish these. And I was like, I'm
and then
6.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think when I got it I was probably like 4 or 5.
And there was no way of saving anything because the cartridges or whatever didn't have any memory, and so like you
Exactly.
basically played the same game over and
and
over
then
again.
and then I was like 5, so I couldn't like play for ages and ages and ages
Yeah,
to
yeah.
finish, and I wasn't that good. So it was just like I would never get to a certain point unless I was like, it was a weekend and I was really allowed to. But then it was still really difficult to get that far. And yeah, it was just like, you can get another one when you finish this. I was like, I can't finish Ninja Turtles. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Ah!
And that was the thing as well. Like,
So I borrowed games from my friends. We traded.
it was weird, like the way your parents, I mean not your parents specifically, but one's parents got around stuff like that, because like you wouldn't be able to play the video game for more than like a couple of hours because you had you had like homework to do, or like you had to go to bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they were like, we're not going to get you another video game until you complete that one. I'm like, well, set parameters under which I can complete this one. And I will. And like I remember several times when my parents would like go out and I was old enough to be at home by myself at that point, and then they'd come back and I'd still be up playing video games, and my mum would be like, he's still playing the machine.
The machine.
And I was like, yeah, because like this is the only way I can beat this. I've never reached this level before because
It's really hard to get to it, and I die.
And back when you're that age as well, video games aren't always all the stuff you do. Like if you've got friends in the neighborhood, like you go out and then you can like you go and like ride your bikes or rollerblade or whatever you do, and then you end up, did I leave the bed like over here somewhere? But then you end up playing the video game later when you're back at home and your friends have had to go, and then like you haven't allowed yourself enough time to play this a lot of the time. So it's sometimes it's a self-imposed time limit, but sometimes it's just like you just never had enough time.
Yeah. It's funny. Hi, Northy Plays. We are doing well. I saw someone earlier ask how long we've been together.
Nearly 8 years.
Well,
right?
me living here.
Oh yeah, you living here like longer.
Like me living here, like literally yesterday was my like move anniversary.
It was
my 8-year move anniversary, and to be together as a unit.
As a unit, more like 10 years now.
Almost.
It'll be 10 years in October.
Will it be?
Yeah, I mean, if you count us like having met in October and pretty much decided, yep, this is a person I like, then yeah.
Yeah, I guess the end of this year basically it'll be
yeah.
A decade.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
A decade since we first met in person is basically Christmas this year.
That's so weird. So weird. I feel old. It's very odd to think that.
I choose this human. Yeah, it's like Pokemon, but in reverse. That's how relationships work, right?
Yeah, it was pretty.
She found me and then trapped me in a ball.
Exactly.
She used one of her friends to fight me until I nearly fainted, and then was very badly burned. Took me to a Pokemon Center. I was fine. Took me to the nearest hospital, and then I was smitten, I guess. only lets me out to do streams and videos. Yeah, I'm shackling myself to this business. I think you'll find.
Yeah. Someone else asked about visas and stuff. Like, how are you able to? And it was like,
don't bring that up. I mean, it's fine now that it's over, but gosh, that was a ordeal of a process, and I don't envy anyone else doing it now because it's even worse.
Yeah, basically, it is. He said they are stingy with visas, and I was like, yes, they are. And it got worse after I came, and I got like literally in just under this kind of change in the visa regulations, and so some slightly older rules applied to me in terms of boring things like income and whatnot.
Yeah.
I got under the fiance visa. Basically, it was like I came into the country specifically to marry this one.
Specifically to marry me. And
and so
that worked out.
That makes it a little bit easier than doing it under like a work visa or something, or a student visa, which a lot of people do. But yeah, like they changed some of the rules, and they've made it much harder. So we got very lucky.
It made it quite convenient, just that the fiance visa thing was a category, but I feel like it wasn't that we wouldn't have got married if you were able to move here under other circumstances. I feel like we might have waited a little bit longer, but it was pretty certain that we were going to do it either way at that point. So it was like, yeah, why wait?
Yeah.
If it means that it's just going to make the whole process so much more streamlined.
Fiance visas don't work anymore? Oh, then I really got in under the line. Yeah. It was they had very specific rules in which if you came to the U.S. or I came here, it just made more sense.
Yeah.
In terms of financially and the time that was allowed and stuff under the certain visas for me to come here, and then like.
And now we're married, and you have your indefinite leave to remain here, and you've got the residence permit.
Yeah, basically the equivalent of a green card, the residence permit, which is like indefinite leave is like I just renew it. Actually, I think I have to renew it
in the next 3 years.
In the next couple of years. Yeah. My ID with a horrible picture of me, the worst picture of me ever taken, is the one that's on my main photo ID. So yeah, it
reminds me I need to renew my tourist visa next year.
I know I have to. My U.S. driver's license is going to expire next year. I need to renew that. Boring grown-up talk.
Yay.
Things are expiring and renewals and blah. But yeah, no, it felt sometimes there's moments where we were like, are we rushing into this too fast kind of thing, but when you look back on it, actually really, really worked out.
I don't think we even had discussions like that at the time even. We were just like, yeah, we feel like this is the thing to do.
Yeah, no, we did, but I think there was definitely a sense of like, is this the right timing? Should I wait long? I think for me there was more of that because it was like, should I continue to try and find work and blah, blah, blah. Like there's all sorts of different things.
For me, I was already here as well.
Yeah, so you had a much less of a change.
I had less of that, like, do I need to do this? And it's like, yeah, I'm already in this country. That's not the problem. Is this a new wandering trader? Did that guy literally disappear from over there and then turn up over here? He did. Yeah. He's got different traits. He still sells sand. You're supposed to bring me stuff from elsewhere, you fool.
This is special sand. Legends. But yeah. So it worked out, I think, for the best in the long run. It in retrospect, there were definitely moments where I'm like, oh, that happened very quickly.
Someone was asking if you like England more than the US.
Yeah. I don't know. It's called.
Depends what aspects of both, really.
I like both in varying ways. I live here, so I clearly like it enough to be here.
Yeah, you're not just here for me in the grand scheme
of
things.
No, I do really like the space. Everyone's yelling about the shovel.
It's fine.
Everyone's like, the shovel!
It's fine. It's got unbreaking and mending. It'll be fine. You guys think I'm not on top of this, but I am. Give me more credit. I'm a professional. I've been doing this for 138 episodes. I have 600 hours in this game.
I thought you were going to say 138 years.
I have 600 hours in this world alone. I know when my shovel's going to break. It's got 57 durability. With Unbreaking 3, that's probably more like 200. You guys are too tense. Relax.
Also, like, what's the worst that happens if your shovel breaks? You get another shovel?
I have like 7 copies of this shovel.
Yeah.
Not even copies either.
I
enchanted several shovels like this.
It's good.
I'm fine. Chill. Oh. You folks. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you looking after me, but...
It's a shovel.
We're all right. We're all fine here. We're all fine here.
Ignore the little status bars.
I have
Don't worry
not
about
crafted anything with a diamond for the longest time because I never break items.
it. You say that now.
There was that one time I
You
let
say
a
that
charged
now.
creeper blow me up and then the lightning destroyed all of my gear, which is fine. It happens. It was a good lesson to learn. I have not died since. And if I was to die, it probably wouldn't be in circumstances that destroyed all my items. So, y'all can chill out a little. He says, casually flying over all of the lava in the nether.
Exactly. You say it now. You're like, I haven't had to do anything with the diamonds. And it's like, oh,
I
no.
broke that hoe once. It's true. I intended to break that hoe, and that hoe did nothing for me in return. I resent it. Flies directly into lava. Ow! I hit my head. Oh gosh! My head, the durability. My head is less durable than the shovel.
Fire.
Oh, ER was here. I didn't even spot you. I'm sorry. Hello. I'm sorry you have to go, but thank you for stopping by. Really great to see you. Hope you're well. I've been paying less attention to the chat because I know we're doing this now.
Northy's asking like which ones I say. I still say gas. I don't say petrol. We don't have a car, so I don't have cars to say very often.
Mm-hmm.
I say candy still. I say tap now.
I'm pretty sure you say tap now, yeah.
I say tap now.
You don't say lorry. You're like.
I say lorry occasionally, but I mostly say truck. I don't, but if it's like a big truck, like it depends on the type of truck. Like
Yeah.
with the big trailer, like a semi truck, I say a semi.
Yeah.
But if it's like a garbage truck, yeah, I say truck. Occasionally, I have said like the bin truck, I guess, or something. It sounds kind of weird. I think it's just
You say the bins. The bins are getting collected.
yeah.
That's like
I'm trying to think.
use it.
I say bin, but I don't say what is it?
The sentence has a different context.
I don't say the rubbish.
Yeah.
I say garbage.
You say garbage or trash.
Trash, yeah. Yeah, I have it depends on how trucky it is. It does.
I'll get rid of all of these prismarine crystals. Okay, I just threw the flint and steel I was trying to light those things on fire with. You, stop it. No, bad. Go away.
You talking about me, Shrek Donkey? You're being rude.
There we go. I really wish you could drop everything of one item. I'm pretty sure you can do that with inventory tweaks.
Rubbish is for non-trash trash. Everyone's just having amusing discussions about that.
For a second there, those items were just on fire. That was weird. Yeah, how does that work? Oh, and then they disappear. Interesting. Do you have, like, longer to pick up items if they're on fire now? Or is that just the world lagging slightly because I'm at my Guardian farm?
Fairy floss, candy floss, or cotton candy. Cotton candy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still say most things, like, in an American fashion, but there's definitely some things I say that are... I have a fun mix that sometimes, in terms of spelling as well, it's a weird mix that confuses my computer or my autocorrect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know what you're doing. Why are you speaking in such a
What are you?
a weird way? And then I have like Spanglishy kind of spellings on top of that, and so yeah, the autocorrect on my phone is slightly unpredictable.
Very confused.
Yeah, it's learning. It's doing its best.
Dang it, those are all on a step. Okay, I'm just setting off fireworks on top of them now. That doesn't work. There we go. Stop it! Freaking laserfish. Give me time to burn my items. Maybe a bigger storage system, maybe less backseat gaming. A bigger storage system for what, I ask you? I don't need any of this. All I want is the experience levels. I don't care about the prismarine crystals anymore. I have a bigger storage system. It's called these chests. They're all full of useless prismarine crystals. I don't need them. What I need is a better trash can.
Licorice. Yeah, I like licorice. You don't like licorice at all.
Nope.
I like licorice.
Licorice is probably one of my least favorite substances.
And there's also like the salt licorice that like is like even more intense and weird and acquired tasty.
Salmiakki.
Yeah, I like a little bit of it. I did try one that was like super crazy. It was like double salt, and I was like that was too much.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I don't like go out of the way to have it all the time, but I do enjoy it. Half my family's from the London area, but I grew up in Texas, so I have a weird pronunciation of some words. Yeah, I can imagine if you have a mix of really distinct accents as well, like not super like neutral, like somewhat regional accents that are kind of distinct and like noticeable. Yeah, I imagine there's some fun pronunciations because of that, which is cool though. It makes it interesting. It tells the story of your family.
It sings the song of your people. That is a weird combination, B. Wardley, yes. The, Larry the Cable Guy meets, I don't know, some British comedian.
I have no idea. I can't think of anyone right now.
Anybody who uses
Simon
the word Q and things, yeah.
Random.
Simon Amstel, the Cable Guy.
I don't think Larry the Cable Guy's from Texas. I feel like he's from like Louisiana. No, he's not from Louisiana. He's like West Virginia. I don't know. I'm not sure. Hit Guardian Thorns, and my brain thought that said Game of Thrones, and I was like gonna be like, no, don't talk about the show.
My armor might be dying because Game of Thrones.
I can't escape that show. I've seen people like on my Twitter timeline be like, I've muted like so many words of the names of the characters and names of the show, and I still see it pop up on my timeline. And I haven't muted anything personally, but I am definitely ready for it to be done, so I don't have to see people talk about it
where people are like, the episode, and you're like, okay, I don't need to mute the word episode from my Twitter timeline.
Yeah, like it's literally...
Oh, don't want those in there.
Just, it's so much. I'm like, all of the news is getting like completely obscured by everyone yelling about the show.
Yeah.
Q is pronounced Q, followed by 4 letters waiting their turn. That's kind of cute. It's a good way to remember it. There's a bunch of random stuff after this letter for no reason.
I do like the fact that since I've put all of these extra protection enchantments on my armor, I'm just not feeling any damage from this.
Everyone's like, only one more episode. But that's the finale, so that's that. I feel like the fallout of that is going to go on for a while.
And then there's going to be a spin-off series, because you know there's going to be a spin-off series.
There's going to be a spin-off series?
It's been too successul for them not to, let's be real. Like,
yeah, but I feel like the end of this is like...
It's going to be like Westeros stories.
I don't know. It's like...
They're just going to make up some kind of original property based on it.
I just feel there's going to be a bunch of think pieces about the ending of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be like...
And those will last until they develop season 1800 of whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
The Westeros Chronicles. Westeros 2099.
Oh god. It's all too much!
Cyberpunk Game of Thrones. Where they have to battle for supremacy over the augmented reality space. To be fair, I would watch that. I'd watch that more than I watch Game of Thrones. What's my ratio of damage dealt to damage taken? I have no idea. Can I find that somewhere?
Westeros 90210.
I would absolutely watch Westeros teen drama. Damage dealt, absorbed, nothing. Damage absorbed for 40, I guess. Damage taken, 16,000.
16,000 what?
Damage resisted, like points of damage.
Oh, okay.
Damage resisted, 2,000. Damage dealt, 137,000. I think I'm winning. That's like a 1:11 ratio, I guess, probably. For every point of damage I've taken, I've dealt 11 or so. Ish. Alright, that's repaired. Let's fix up the axe while I'm here. Might as well. Thank goodness the shovel is safe. The shovel was never in any danger. You guys are projecting all your anxieties onto the shovel. It's fine.
It's so weird that you set all of this stuff up. It all feels so, like, elaborate.
It is pretty elaborate, but people watched it, so I'm cool with that.
I mean, it's interesting. It's so different than, like, what we did on the Xbox version. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I remember us
So complicated.
making a cow farm on the Xbox version. That was about as far as we got. And I don't think Toby had ever been to the Nether, so I think I ended up like showing him how to make a Nether portal and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, we're gonna go in. Like, I'll go first. I'll check that there's no danger. Man, those are more
Simple times.
simpler times. Simpler times for
Everyone's
sure.
talking about my tattoo.
Yeah. Are you comfortable talking about it, or do you not?
Yeah.
Want
I mean, I didn't know if it would just become this weird, like, displaying thing.
Up to you.
I don't know how much you can see because it's in the corner and how much shows up on the camera. 'Cause there's a little bit of green in it as well. It is kind of light.
It's probably not chroma green though. I think
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
alright.
it's pretty light. I've got
Considering that like this on my hoodie probably isn't showing up as like super chromed.
Yeah, no, I've got a cat skull and golden poppies and
How do I do this so you
kind of
can
see it. What is this? Calla lilies. Oh,
see if I can get that to.
like,
There we go.
is your hand in the way or no?
No.
And
can see it.
yeah, those flowers there. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. And then I've got that one down there. That's hummingbird skulls and dahlias and like a little halo-y-esque thing. Yeah, just animal skulls and flowers. It's just my vibe, I guess. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad that.
Welcome to the Animal
You
Skulls
think
and
it's
Flowers
pretty?
stream.
I'm fairly happy with the two different artists, but they did a good job complementing each other.
Yeah.
And it's,
They're both very good.
yeah, I'm happy with them. Need to get some new ones. It's been a couple of years.
I was there for the first one. I was not there for most of the second.
Yeah. Tattoos. Yeah. They are an addiction a little bit, yeah. I've been very patient with mine. I've got that one. I've got one other one on my ribs, but I haven't got any more in a little while. What?
Somebody said to move the green screen because it was like
Oh, is it shifting around?
the left-hand corner on the screen was not working out.
But yeah, no, I do really like them. I waited to find an artist or artists plural that I was really happy with.
You were like looking people up on Instagram for a while and kind of following specific artists and like aspiring to get tattooed by certain people instead of just going to your local tattoo shop and being like,
yeah,
do a skull on this arm. You know, you were a lot more.
Yeah, I wanted a specific style.
Yeah, more meticulous about it than
and
that.
I've got a couple other artists right now that I'm eyeballing, like their styles, and trying to decide what I want to get in that style or what sort of motifs I want to have them incorporate. So, might be some more ones, but by the end of the year we shall see. But yeah, I'm happy with them. They're quite fun. I'm tattoo a shovel on my arm. That could be kind of cool if it's done in a fun artistic style.
A stylistic thing.
Something very stylized, yeah, or like really like hyper realistic shovel could be fun too.
Not a Minecraft shovel where it's all made of like pixels.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I saw this one that was like, it looked like it was a patch. Again, it's very stylized. I personally wouldn't get it for myself, but it was a really neat.
It looked like it was kind of embroidered, stitched
yeah,
on
like
kind of thing. I think you've shown me those actually.
The technique was like hyper realistic patch style. Like it was, you could see the thread and like it looked slightly like raised from the arm. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it's really neat when people can actually have stylistic touches like that.
The couple of riffs.
Hit us.
If we could add each add one biome to Minecraft, what would it be and why? I don't even know what that would be now.
Well, suggest something and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
There's a mesa thingy.
Yep.
Right.
There is.
And there's desert.
Yep.
And there's different types of forests.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many of them are covered. I don't know. I mean, I guess like.
Thank you.
And if they got swamps, maybe like the swamps could be a bit more like
bayou sort of style?
yeah, like more of a wetlandsy bayou kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
bit more Evergladesy.
yeah, and have maybe more of like willows and kind of Spanish moss and that kind of drapery of like everything kind of like swaying and fun. What?
I said Spanish moss, my brain immediately started playing Spanish fly.
Why?
Because I don't know, just the phrase Spanish moss just kind of have the same resonance to it.
Yeah, I think that could be fun. I think there's like ocean biome stuff that's kind of fun.
They have coral reefs in Minecraft now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I can show you one if you like. Should I take you on a world tour? Should I show you some of the stuff that's around here?
Maybe. I think there's like seaweed, so there's like kelp, right?
Yep.
They're like kelp forest kind of thing.
I mean, there is just like a large area of kelp in oceans. It's not specifically a kelp forest biome, and you don't tend to get like specific animals that show up there that aren't elsewhere. But yeah, I'll show you. I mean, there's like ocean biomes that just have kelp in them by design now.
They should put like a seal in the kelp forests.
Seals would be fun. We already have dolphins, though. I feel like the behaviors would probably be quite similar. While they're not exactly the same animal like in the real world, I don't expect there'd be much they could do with seals in this game that they haven't already done with dolphins.
I guess so. I just like seals.
Yeah, I like seals too.
I think they're quite fun.
They're cute.
But yeah, no, I don't know.
Got the whiskers.
I think maybe just like a slightly more Evergladesy sort of swamp or
A swamp.
Or maybe like a hot springsy area where there's like a place with like volcanic activity.
That'd be cool. I feel like volcanoes type of biomes would be a fun addition, especially considering there's already lava in the game.
Yeah, you could do different types of ones because if it's like near like a more of like a oceany kind of thing, it could be
if
like
there was like a volcanic
Hawaiian
island,
kind of volcanic island. But then you could have in the
good.
mountains, it could be like little mountain hot springs. So there's really different sorts of things that you would have there.
Yeah,
That could be kind of fun.
I like that.
A redwood forest would be cool. Yeah, that could be cool. That's like back home.
Bit of Yosemite
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what type, because if that was too similar to the other types of trees and forests that they have, you know, 'cause they've got like the jungle and then the more mountainous kind of forest. That's
Yeah, I feel like
evergreen.
they've probably got redwood forests in the sense that they have mega taiga biomes with like the giant spruce trees and stuff, but I feel like redwoods would be even bigger. There have definitely been
that's true.
There have been like mod packs that add additional biomes to the game that have had redwood forests in them, and they look very different.
Sharks would be cool. I like sharks a lot.
You do like sharks. You're a big fan.
Yeah. Is there anything that you, biome-wise, are missing from the game?
See, I'm terrible at coming up with examples of that kind of stuff when it happens, but I would love a...
Palm trees, yes, like an islandy, like a really tropical kind of thing.
They're actually adding palm trees when they update deserts.
Really?
Which is going to be pretty fun.
That's cool.
I would love a biome that has some kind of tree with pink leaves, like a sakura tree, kind of cherry blossom tree kind of thing. They had one of those in Biome Bundle, and it was just done by setting like a custom biome up so that the leaves of like regular oak trees that you placed there would be pink, and you could still bring in birch leaves and spruce leaves because they don't adapt their color to whatever biome, and those are really nice. I had one of those as my desktop background for the longest time because it was just a very pretty picture.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'd love like a Japanese kind of cherry blossom type of thing. I would like that a lot. Not least because having pink leaves on some trees would be so nice.
Very atmospheric.
Yeah.
I think I saw a picture somewhere that was like a... I'm assuming it was a mod pack, but it was like someone had done a a kind of what do they call it? Kind of like a greenhouse, I guess. But like a big greenhouse, not like a backyard greenhouse.
Like a biodome kind of
sort of like
situation,
that, yeah.
like an Eden Project style thing.
Yeah, but it had all these really cool like swinging vines like that moved a lot, and like really pretty pink petaled things, and it's a really neat, and like butterflies. And I was like, that's really cool, but I was like, I don't think any of those are in the game, so there must be some sort of specific,
there's a
stylistic kind of mod.
There's a mod at work there.
Yeah, but it was really cool looking.
Looks like this has gone quiet, which is good news because that's what I kind of wanted it to do, in a way. How many? Oh, okay, good. We got plenty of that left.
More birds added, like owls or pigeons. That could be fun.
Owls would be great. I would love owls to be in this game. I don't know what they would do, but I would appreciate them a great deal. I like owls in general. Owls are like, we've talked about this before, they're like air cats.
Yeah.
They have the same kind of like attitude and quirkiness.
Pretty much.
And predatory instincts, I guess, as cats do. They go after the same stuff. Voles and things. Do we have any pets? No, we used to own 2 cats who are unfortunately no longer with us.
Been trying to decide when we want to get
we talk a lot.
Cats.
We talk a lot about adopting another cat at some point, but we're not quite sure when the right time is to do that. We also don't own a like a car of any kind, so actually going to adopt the cat ourselves would be kind of tricky because we'd have to have some way of bringing it home. So either like with a friend or like I feel really weird like renting a car or something to do that. That just seems like such an absurd thing to do somehow. Yeah. Owl bears. They should add owl bears to Minecraft. It's a nod to the D&D community. I'm not sure if that should be legendary or lagendary. Thank you for the 90 bits. Appreciate the supports. They should add Bumbo Cactonize to Minecraft. They've had that done for them already.
Would I ever have a pet snake? No. No. I don't mind snakes. I just don't want to own one.
Yeah, I feel like my problem with snakes is not so much the fact that they... I dislike snakes as such, but it's the fact that the stuff they eat is all like dead mice and stuff. And I would have a hard time feeding an animal to another animal if it wasn't like in chopped up food form. Like obviously like the food that we fed our cats had like rabbit and turkey and stuff in, which if you think about it is obviously like you're feeding an animal to another animal, but I'm also like this is in a processed form that I can deal with, whereas like
as opposed to like a whole
like
dead mouse
feeding a live mouse to a python or something would just be like, oh,
well, I think a lot of times people who own snakes that have to eat mice, especially as the mice get larger, they give them dead mice so that there's no like threat of injury to the snake, because obviously like the mice
they can like fight back,
don't want to die.
But
yeah, like I think it's just that kind of I just don't want to deal with the process of owning a snake. I mean, I feel like there's a level of like, I don't really want a dog either. Not because I dislike dogs. I love dogs, but I don't want to deal with the process of
they're just a high maintenance
having
animal.
A dog. Like I don't want to have to pick up their poop with my hand.
And, that's true.
And take them for walks with the intensity that they need.
I always imagined getting a dog when I was older and needed like a good reason to leave the house and like go on walks, and was like getting a dog kind of means you're obliged to take it places. And so I was like, if I just need an excuse to get out of my house in my old age and like go for a walk for my own health, then having some kind of animal to do that with. I mean, presumably I could go for a walk with you as well, but I don't know if you would want to like always go on a walk. And
no, I mean, I like going on walks, and
having pets to do that with is always.
If you had a dog to walk, or if we had a dog to walk, that would be cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, like it's right now it's like it's not like not anything against the concept of dogs. It's just yeah, like you have to be prepared to do all the things that are required of you
Mm-hmm.
to provide for that animal, you know? Like if you get like a bird, that bird, depending on the type of bird, it's going to be with you for a while.
Yeah.
Like if you get like a parrot, parrots live to be like 90, you know? Like,
Parrots are also pretty dope.
oh, they are super dope, but also like it's owning
There's a process.
a bird that has a very specific like space requirement, and yeah, it's a different thing. You just got to be prepared for it. And cats are just most familiar to me, and their vibes work with my vibes, you know, my energy level and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Cats are nice. We get on with cats. Beethoven. Okay, bear with me. Parrots are loud. Yeah, parrots make noise. I mean, all animals make noise to an extent. Like our cats, one of them was like he wasn't talkative, but he would make himself known. Like Sebastian would always like swipe stuff off of the table and like mess with the stuff that we had and like push pens around, and whenever he wanted feeding, he would like do stuff angrily until you fed him.
yeah.
And then Pickwick, after Sebastian died and Pickwick was the only cat, he got noisy.
Because he was like, oh, like I have
he's
to
like,
make myself known. He's not doing it for me.
I have to be the one who like asks for food when I'm hungry.
Because he was always the slightly more timid of the two.
2 hours before we actually feed him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't of the temperament to like pull stuff off the tables and like cause a ruckus, so he would just go meow, meow, meow constantly.
Yeah.
Which was adorable in itself, but yeah, like at 6 a.m. when I'm still trying to sleep.
Yeah. Bye, Northie. Enjoy studying, or good luck studying, or I hope studying goes well. How do you wish someone good studying? That feels funny.
All of those are valid, I think.
Yeah.
Bad thing with parrots, you have to be with them like 3 hours, like out of every day. That's, yeah. Not sure I could manage that. Like, you gotta come to me.
One of my cats steals stuffed animals from my daughter. He hunts them and brings them down to us to trade for treats.
There's
It's so cute.
whenever Gavin Free talks about his cats, he's like one of them like hoards Beanie Babies and like leaves them as like a tribute thing.
They have such weird habits.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
Odd animals.
There's weird little internal life that you have no idea about.
Yeah.
But it's cute. And yeah, like other types of pets, like fish or turtles, again, cool, but I'm like, I do want to cuddle the animal. You can't, well, you can kind of cuddle the turtle, I guess, but
yeah,
it's a little bit different. And fish, you can't really cuddle at all.
Yeah, I feel like...
But they are quite nice to look at.
Anything that you put in a tank is more like, it's fascinating to watch than like, I want to take it out and handle it.
Yeah.
You know? Like having spiders. It's like, you can take them out and you can kind of have them walk on you and stuff, but I'm like, most of the time you're just going to stay in that tank and I can look at you.
Yeah.
But I'm not that interested in owning a spider either.
No.
A rancho.
I would a rancho. I would rather have a snake than a tarantula.
Yeah.
I know some people probably would. Other people would have the exact opposite. Some people really don't like snakes.
No, I think the snakes are fun because the way they move is more fascinating than it is creepy. And the fact that if a snake is moving around a tank, it's like doing that constant slow movement that actually feels kind of soothing to me to think about.
Yeah, that kind of gentle undulation as opposed to like,
spiders,
frantic skittering.
Spiders do the skittering thing a lot more. They move suddenly
and you're like,
in a way that would be kind of frightening.
You're like, please stop, please stop.
25 bits from Legendary and 50 bits from Elkhorn. Thank you so much for the bits.
Get a giant snail. Those are interesting looking. Do not want to touch them.
Yeah.
Like that's, yeah, you go be large and snail-like over there.
I also have no idea where you would buy one of those from. Like, you'd probably have to go to some sort of, like, specialist. There are definitely, like, reptile specialist pet stores in the UK that there used to be one down in Kirkstall.
Yeah.
In Leeds, but, like, yeah, I don't know where one of those would be in Brighton. I mean, just Google it, obviously, but I'm not that interested. I'm just curious to see if I've ever walked past one and not realised it. I have no idea where you would buy a giant snail from.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to learn because I'm like, I'm on the market for a giant snail. But they're not like, I don't know. Yeah.
The thought of owning a lizard appealed to me at a certain time in my life, and now I'm not as keen. I just want another cat. Cats are just like the right animal for me. Like
Yeah.
I had absolutely no issues with cats, and found them like enriching for our life.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, finding the right time to own another one.
Yeah, because they are demanding. They do require attention and care and, you know, medicine if necessary,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all the different things that, and like enrichment. You know what I mean? Like they have to be.
Their quality of life has to have a certain.
Yeah,
like,
you can't just like. I mean, as much as they do like to just like sleep and chill and be left alone, sometimes you do have to play with them and make sure that you can give them the right amount of interesting things to do. Yeah. But I'm not sure when we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
When we're gonna expand the household again.
We can take our time. It's also like one of those things where we want to do more traveling and we want to have time to ourselves, and when you've got a pet that is reliant on you to survive, it makes stuff like that difficult. And
it just requires more forethought and planning and
making sure that somebody can come around and take care of the pets and that kind of stuff. Like it's important. Riff Raff with 1,000 bits saying you really love these kind of chill and chat streams. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad we're entertaining enough. And it's always nice to just chat with people and do something vaguely mindless like this. So glad that's in your wheelhouse today.
soothing.
Super hard to travel when you have pets. Yeah, on the occasions where we've traveled in the past and we still own cats, one of the only people we could rely on to take care of those cats was also allergic to cats, but just liked them enough that they were willing to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I don't know if that's like the ideal situation to put somebody in, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, it's very kind of them, but at the same time, like, yeah, we would rather that you didn't have to take antihistamines constantly to not have your allergies flare up.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just like if you wanted to stay out to do something, you'd have to be like, okay, we got to get back at a certain time to do a certain thing and make sure they're fed.
Yeah.
And
Now the amount of concessions we had to make to like, okay, we have to be home by like 7 because that's when the cats need to be fed and that kind of thing. And
yeah, and
they would always like greet us at the door, being like, "Where have you been? I need food."
yeah, and like and Pickwick, towards the end of his life, developed diabetes, so
Yeah.
we had to be home to give him an injection before each meal, and that was like, it was important that it happened at a certain time because then his blood sugar wouldn't be all out of whack. So yeah, that I mean, and that was not like, I wasn't like, oh god, this is a pain. It was just like, this needs to be done. There was never any question about like, how can we get around it. It was absolutely like, I had no problem adjusting things to suit that because that was necessary, and I cared for him very, very much. But it is a big effort when you don't have to do that. Something you're like, oh wow, I can just go out right now. I don't have to even think about anything else. So
yeah, Renee, we know that feeling because Sebastian and Pickwick actually moved from California. Kay adopted both of them in, well, Sebastian in California, Pickwick in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess you must have brought both of them. You brought Sebastian to New Mexico with you, and then you brought Pickwick back as well, right?
Yeah. I went out with one cat and I came back with 2.
Yeah, and then you brought both of them over here when you, like a year or 2 after you moved out here permanently. So yeah, there was a lot of traveling for those cats.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it definitely was a process, but they were also like really tough. I don't know, like they were just they were just very adaptable, very sweet, very, very.
And they settled in here really well. Like they
loved you. I mean, they knew me obviously, so it wasn't like a question of like, are they gonna like me still? They didn't hold a grudge. They were like, okay, well, you guys are here, so we're happy. You know, they were we had a good relationship with them.
Me and Pickwick bonded.
Yeah.
Pickwick was definitely like, he was the one who'd come and like sit on me while I was doing stuff at the computer the whole time. Like he was happier in a slightly more peaceful environment, and I would spend large portions of the day sat at my computer at the time, so kind of made sense. Not that I don't do that anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. They didn't have to stay. We had like a visa waiver situation because of certain U.S. requirements. They did have to have like a bunch of different shots and made sure that they were up to date with all of their vaccinations.
Oh, and that was a whole process, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a process.
That was almost as difficult as getting you out here.
It was a process, but because of the way we did it, we were able to avoid the quarantine. If they had to do a quarantine, I wouldn't have made them do that.
Will McYang with the 3 months. Thank you so much for the resub. Can we get some sub hype in the chat, please? Thank you so much. 3 months of support. Wow. Oh. Ah! I dropped a block of sand on that skeleton, apparently. They have to stay quarantined. They didn't, but it was, yeah, a lot of vaccinations, a lot of paperwork, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
Your friend looks like a lesbian. Thank you.
Have you met my lesbian friend? Also my wife. Could be both.
I mean, close enough.
CN with the host. Thank you so much for the hosts. How much cat fur have I had to pick out of my microphone? Not this one, unfortunately, because I say unfortunately. It wouldn't be fortunate to have the cat fur in it, but I would also like to have a cat again. So, the other one, occasionally, yeah. Pigwig would walk across the front of my desk, and it was a different desk at the time, but he used to do that, and he used to rub up against my microphone, which had a similar thing to this on it at the time. But it wasn't as big as this, so there was a little bit less cat hair. But yeah, the cat hair was just everywhere else.
Yeah, they were both very fluffy.
And Sebastian had like long, thin hair, and it used to get matted occasionally, but then he'd groom it, and he'd just leave like clumps of hair lying around, which was always a delight.
I shot my laptop when he wanted attention. That's funny. Yeah, cats are very good at getting your attention when they're like, it's my turn now. Look at me. I need the affection. So when we moved to Hawaii to do a long blood test for rabies, did the test before. Yeah, because the quarantine, like, it's super stressful. And like, the move is stressful enough, especially if you're moving not just like from a neighboring country that's like not a super long trip. It's like, you know, across an ocean sort of thing, like to Hawaii or to here. Yeah. It's such a long process that you're like, I don't want to have the quarantine on top of it. That's just far too much. I mean, some people can or do, you know, or have to, but if you can avoid it, it's probably for the best, because it's too much for everyone involved. A kitty named Oscar. That's so cute.
There's an Oscar that lives near us.
There is an Oscar that lives near us. He's got shorter hair though, and a little like gray stripe on his face. Get him a lion cut. I can't imagine trying to get either of the cats to like be groomed into that shape. They would just be like, no.
Pigwig might tolerate it more than Sebastian did. Sebastian was like, he was okay with brushing until like you got to certain areas of him, and then he was like, no. Yeah. Pigwig was much more tolerant of that stuff, but he hated being bathed. Yeah. And Sebastian like was the opposite. He liked baths, but he didn't like them, but he tolerated them a lot more. Yeah. But then trimming his nails or grooming his fur for him was a nightmare.
Pigwig was so chill when he would trim his little claws, though.
Yeah, he was very good.
He had very soft little feet. You tried to do that to Sebastian, and he would just be like, how dare you? And it was like, you're like getting stuck on the carpet now. You need to let me trim your claw.
That's the one time you would hear Sebastian actually like talk more. He'd just be like, just like
the grumpiest noises, the most affronted noises.
And then he'd like hiss at you a bunch and stuff, and then he was fine once you put him down.
Oh, he was so like dramatic, very melodramatic, and you're just like really like you're acting like I'm like strangling you, and I need you to like calm down.
And then he'd like immediately cuddle you afterwards.
Yeah, like, and then you put him, you'd stop, and he'd be like, oh, it's affection time. Can I have a treat? And he would just, he was such a punk. Loves to be brushed, has no issue with water, having to trim his nails. Homeboy's gonna cut you. Exactly. They're just that level of like, why are you touching my feet? Don't do it. It's like, but I think that's the thing, is that some cats have very particular like things that they are.
Anyone else see all the pillagers in this hole, by the way?
Oh my gosh.
How hilarious.
They're hanging out.
They're like leveling their crossbows at me like they can actually shoot me from here. Try it, Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper? Is that what they're called?
No, they're pillagers. They're just a terrible shot.
Oh, I see. Aren't the foxes kind of like your pets?
I mean...
And that we observe them and take pictures of them, yes, but they are very much not pets.
So happy with the 2 months of Twitch Prime. Thanks for the great content, Pixorus. Thanks for the great sub. So happy. Can we see some sub hype in the chat, please? 2 months of Twitch Prime. Thank you.
Really cute names. Tristan and Diva. Diva the Siamese. I feel like whenever a cat has a name like that, it always is fitting. My mom's cat's name is Sassy, and it's like super fitting.
Entirely.
And she always gives you this kind of like stink eye.
The sass.
You call it the sass face, and she kind of stares like, what? Someone asked how we met. Don't know if you want to go into that.
This happens basically every time.
Yeah, everyone's like, how?
How did this happen?
How did this happen?
We met on a forum for writers. That's basically it. You came over to visit me at Christmas.
Oh my gosh, so many creepers.
A lot of creepers. It's fine. We got it covered.
Although I think a couple of those that I thought were creepers are actually cactus.
Nope. Some of those are also creepers.
No, there were four creepers, but then I think there was a couple that were slightly further in the distance that I thought.
It's like those over there.
Yeah.
Stop picking up stuff. I want you to despawn. I am Pred, and good evening to you. Hope you're having a lovely evening. But yeah, no, the foxes are very much not pets, but they are quite photogenic, so we tolerate their presence. Would prefer them not to make horrible screeching noises in the night, but there you go.
Yeah. It's kind of what they do. They can't help it.
Yeah.
It's the only noise they have.
It is what the fox says.
Hair is doing like wonky things.
I really wish I could send the creeper down there and have the pillagers explode it. That would be fun. We have foxes. Yeah, if you go to my Instagram page, not to like subtly plug my Instagram or anything.
Shout
but,
out.
But
Shout out to your Instagram.
Shout out to @pixelriffs on Instagram. But no, if you go to my Instagram, you can see loads of pictures of the foxes that now appear regularly in our backyard.
There's just a lot of foxes in the neighborhood.
Oh, hey, an emerald. And before a creeper comes up behind me. No, we're good. Alright, who wants to get Bad Omen today? Is the captain a vindicator, or... You feel vindicated?
What is on his head?
He's got a banner.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, the banner indicates that he is a patrol captain, and if you kill him, you get this little symbol in the top right-hand corner.
Oh.
That is a bad omen, and anytime you walk into a village with bad omen, it starts a raid where a bunch of waves of pillagers and other nasties will turn up and attack the village.
Oh no!
In an attempt to kill the villagers.
Is that like a time-sensitive thing?
Yep.
How long?
It lasts for like an hour.
Oh.
But you can get rid of it very easily if you find a cow, because drinking a bucket of milk cures any like status effects you have, including like effects from potions. And the bad omen effect is part of that. So if I head over to the savannah and find a cow, I'm basically cured.
I see.
Yeah, ain't a big deal.
I like the savannah trees.
I got this on lock.
Wait, are those the savannah trees?
Yeah, they're acacia trees.
Acacia trees, that's the one.
Oh, there's a village over there. Better avoid that. Don't want that village to die, because it will. Oh, there are cows. Brilliant. Just got to avoid all these skeletons. Thank you for the damage boost. Milk the cow and run away. Nailed it. Ah ha 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 ha. No more bad omen for me.
Clever.
Excellent. That went well.
Clever.
Swoosh. Just gonna rest up in here for a second. I don't really feel like spending the night here. Forgot to bring the bed with me. I put it down at home. Piercing one, unbreaking one. For the crossbow. Find it weird that you can get rid of it with milk since it's a social effect and not a physical one. Yeah, I suppose so. But then you can get rid of anything with milk. It would feel inconsistent if you couldn't, in a way. And also, it would really suck to be stuck with that for like an hour, especially if you've got villagers around your base. There has to be some way of getting rid of it. I'm not sure what the alternative method would be if it wasn't milk. It'd be fun to hear some suggestions on that topic, though, because they could always change it in future.
Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant. I don't want to drink milk.
No, not so much.
But thankfully, that doesn't affect me in real life. It's just a game.
Thankfully, there isn't a lactose intolerance debuff in this game. The foxes, we don't take care of them. No, they just turn up in our backyard because it's a relatively chill place. Like, we don't go out there all that much, so we're not constantly like spooking them out of the yard. And yeah, there are a bunch of foxes in the neighborhood. It seems like, because it's just a leafy suburb kind of on the outskirts of a big city. So foxes rummage through bins and, you know, that kind of stuff around here, but they are fairly harmless. And it's nice to get photographs of them napping in our yard, so I do that occasionally. But in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not a great idea to, like, make them feel like this is a safe space for them, because that means they'll just turn up constantly. And they've dug up our back garden quite intensely, so I'd prefer if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And pooping everywhere and stuff, but then, we're not doing much else with the garden right now while we're putting together a budget for redeveloping some of the garden spaces.
Yeah.
Some kind of ritual with a scroll to undo it. Yeah, that might work. You have to get an enchanting table and enchant yourself or something. I imagine there could be some interesting alternatives to that. How do you find so many diamonds? My world seems to be lacking them. You just go to, like, Y11-ish, like 11 blocks from the bottom of the world, and just do a bunch of mining there. I have a bunch of diamonds because I'm at the stage now where I fought the Wither. I've got a beacon. I use that beacon to get the haste 2 effect, and then I mine out large areas of the underground for stone and resources, and a lot of the time I will just find diamond ore and redstone ore and all of that stuff when I'm doing that. So it's pretty easy for me to get those resources at this point in time. For all of the sand in here, as long as there's no creepers coming to blow it up. You can stay for the gram, pretty much.
Oh, my nose feels runny. I have a tissue.
What are the chords of this desert? We are at negative 2500, 1890. Enjoy. Right there, friend. Are you lost? There's another pillager captain over there. Why are there so many of them?
Oh, sorry, my nose is running.
Look at them. They're all just standing there leveling their crossbows at me.
Ominous.
Should I walk up to them holding this? I am one of you.
My nose ring is like spinning around in a weird way. Keep having to mess with it.
That's so weird.
What?
Like, if you walk away from them, they actually, like, pathfind towards you until they're a few blocks away, and then they just stand there being, like, daring you to attack them, basically.
Just, like, threatening.
Yeah. Like, they're all just over there. And then if I get, like, a few extra blocks away, they were actually, like, pathfinding towards me. Maybe they don't do that consistently, but that one guy was, like, walking towards me that way. It's really funny.
Mm.
They don't attack you until you attack them first.
Seriously, my nose ring is like really irritating my nose right now. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's like I have to like I want to like itch it, but I don't want to like mess with it too much. I just want to like let it alone. And then like if I'm on screen, it looks like I'm picking my nose. I'm like, no, I'm turning my nose ring. I'm rotating it because that's like the only way you can like itch like inside the piercing. Basically, is like rotating your nose ring around. And I'm like, eh.
I've never played the forest. I've seen a couple of people play it, and I'm thankful that the pillagers aren't quite as creepy as the stuff in the forest. Yes, Sadie Cat, I'm still live. Normally I stream for like 3 to 4 hours, so you'll often find me still here if you've left in the first hour or two of the stream and you come back. The forest is another kind of survival game. It's got more horror elements. It's kind of like a Lost style scenario where you've basically kind of crashed in the forest and you have to scavenge stuff to survive a little bit, but then there are creepy kind of cannibalistic people who try and attack your base.
Yeah.
It's very creepy. I think I've seen Achievement Hunter play it more recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure when Achievement Hunter played it, they kind of decided to out-cannibal the cannibals. They just weren't fazed by it at all. They were like, it's a video game. We'll, like, attack you with your own leg.
Ugh.
I think you'll stick with Minecraft. Fair play. I think I'll do the same. Somebody knocking on some surface outside. Don't forget the cannibalism. I don't think I'll ever forget the cannibalism. Jeremy went for long count. It would be Jeremy as well, wouldn't it? GBV with 2 months. Thank you so much for the resub. Thanks for the hours of entertainment. PS, what do you like more money-wise, Patreon or Twitch sub? Which benefits you the most? In terms of the cut I get, I get more money from a Patreon pledge than I do from a Twitch sub, because Twitch takes like basically 50% of sub revenue and stuff. But it's really what you prefer, to be honest, because Patreon will get you like occasional rewards depending on where you, like what tier you pledge at, but then Twitch gets you emotes in the chat, and that obviously goes for any other streamer's chat that you visit, so you can always use my emotes in someone else's chat. And I don't know, it's really up to you. It's whatever you feel like you will get the most use out of. It's not like at this stage I'm in a comfortable enough position that like making a little extra money, it doesn't really matter to me, you know.
We're appreciative of your generosity either way.
Absolutely. What's a shattered savanna? A shattered savanna is basically, have you seen amplified terrain? Because it's basically that, but in non-amplified worlds. It's a savanna biome where the mountains have some extra like noise introduced into the world generations, so they can be up to like 200 blocks tall. I don't know if I have one around here. I might go looking for one. But yeah, I really want people to do more amplified vanilla Let's Plays now that Elytra is a thing. Like the Hermitcraft amplified season was right up until Elytra got introduced, and just as it would have been really convenient to fly up and down all of these hills, they went to season 4 and went back to vanilla. What am I collecting the sand for? To have sand. It's surprisingly useful as a material. I've noticed that when you're generating new chunks, that's actually old chunks because that's an old desert village. But when you're generating new terrain, it's not quite as smooth as it is around the spawn chunks for like chunk loading, even in the new 0.1 update. It's nowhere near as bad as it was in 1.14 flat, but it's still pretty touch and go here and there. This is the village, the fateful village where the raid happened.
Oh no.
We'll drop in on the one villager who's still here. This guy. Hi, friend.
Where's he at?
He's
His
in
head is in the wall.
He's in the ceiling. This was the one guy who survived the raid, and I feel like he's traumatized now and won't talk to me, so I feel bad.
He won't talk to you.
I mean,
It's pretty like tile.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's glazed terracotta.
I like that a lot. Again, these are all certain things that are like just different
to you,
details.
yeah.
I'm like, ooh, exciting.
Oh, there's another guy. There's a farmer. See, there are still villagers here. I won. Novice farmer. Well, he's got only one other guy to provide food for, I guess, at this point. The sheep are still alive.
Sheep are like in a house.
Yeah, they've kind of taken over this house. That's a shepherd's house, specifically. Still got the grindstone in here. There's an iron sword. They could have used that to defend themselves. I'm making excuses now.
They all share one sword.
Look at these little like adobe houses and stuff, though. It's kind of cool. Sandstone houses.
It's cute.
Yeah, mostly vacant though, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm trying to think whether if there is a shattered savanna around here or not. I don't think there is. Here's a savanna village. I like the way they do the farmland now. And oh, look at these guys in their red costumes.
I like their little like.
That's cool.
Headgear.
Yeah, they got like the leaf
little
sort of
headband
thing. They've already got an iron golem, obviously. And orange beds in there too. Neat. Also, Minecraft, you okay?
It's a miracle.
Iron golem over there was breakdancing. Brewing stand, so cleric somewhere. I like these designs though. Nice to have a village with a bit of variety.
Oh no! Look, if it's like coming down from that little like waterfall, and there's like one little block that's there. It's going down through.
It's updated now.
It's trying.
Yeah, it was taking a moment. There was a cat.
That's a bit weird.
A cat.
Where?
Like on the mountain over there.
Oh. Find it. Make it a friend.
They're not going to come close to me unless I have raw fish, which I don't right now.
You have to lure them with treats.
Look at this guy. Wheat and beets again. Beets and wheat. Zedaf the villager. Alright, I'm going to run out of fireworks if I do too much more exploring. I'm not sure where a shattered savannah is in this game. In this particular world seed. I think there's one to the north somewhere. That's the pillager outpost, by the way.
Ooh.
You'll notice pillagers spawning real close.
It's interesting.
Swoosh. So let's get back to the desert temple and head home. So we can wrap up the stream. We'll ever make a TNT powered tree farm, definitely. It's one of the things I plan to do this week. If not a tree farm, then at least I want to demonstrate that TNT works slightly differently now. And we'll build up to doing a TNT powered farm in future. But yeah, using TNT for blast mining and stuff is now much more viable, which is quite exciting. But I think I'm more likely to do something that's like demonstrating the general uses of TNT before I go into like, and now a tree farm kind of example. And yeah, I know Mumbo has a concrete farm. I imagine El Mango and the Psycraft guys have come up with something pretty OP for that as well. Still got plenty of durability on the Elytra.
There's so many of these things that I'm just like completely baffled by.
Mm-hmm. You know how TNT, if you set it off, it like blows stuff up?
Yeah.
That only used to drop like maybe half of the blocks that it broke. Now it drops all of them.
Oh.
Which actually makes TNT very much more viable for like resource collection, where previously it would have destroyed resources. Now if you use it well, it can actually be used to kind of collect stuff for you in a much better way than it was previously.
Oh.
Didn't quite make that, apparently.
Interesting. Oh gosh, sorry. I realized the mic is that close to my face as I punch it instead of scratching my head.
And
My
away!
bad.
Oh. Oh, thanks, firework. Yeah, great. Well, we're blowing up bits of the castle now. Probably a sign that the stream is close to finishing up.
Things are going completely
If that
sideways.
If that first firework hadn't let me down, I'd have been fine. And we're good. With no fireworks left.
Oh, well timed.
Alright folks, that's going to be it for this
timed.
stream. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream today. Hope you've all enjoyed, and stick around for the raid, because we're going to find somebody out there who is streaming Minecraft that we can drop a raid on. Speaking of which, it's been a while since we've raided Mr. Joel Duggan. It looks like he's streaming on the Citadel today. He has not had a chance to stream Minecraft of late, so it's going to be nice to drop a raid on him. And 100 bits from Skull Daisy. Thank you so much. Have a great evening yourself as well. Alright, don't forget you can use your Pixel Hype emote and the hashtag Pixel Raid to show some love over on Joel's stream. Joel is my co-host on the Spawn Chunks podcast, so you guys might know him from that. Give him my best, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye for now.